Good afternoon. It's 3 o'clock. I'm Joseph Bonanno, live from the 104.5 The Zone studio. The Tennessee Titans were back on the practice field for day 2 of OTAs. Titans number 1 overall pick Cam Ward spoke to the media after practice and was asked how he's taking advantage of practice despite having to split reps with all the quarterbacks.
Reps, whether Will's up, BA, or Tim is up. Then also just going through it in my head, the formations, the play call, the motions if we have one. So really just, getting understanding of the full offense.
The Western Conference Finals continue tonight as MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the OKC Thunder look for a series win over Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves, who look to keep their finals hopes alive. Tip-off for Game 5 in OKC is at 7:30 on TNT. For our Foundation Apparel, whatever needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Balls. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Yo, what up, Nashville? 3HL is on the air. Brent Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. It's steamy out there, man. I actually see the sun and like some blue sky popping through. I was complaining about it yesterday. Mother Nature has been a witch lately.
Yeah, she has.
Dawn Davenport is here, y'all.
What up, party people?
Party people in the home.
Let's go.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's go. Happy Wednesday.
What up, Babsy?
Listen, Slay, she's direct today.
I see that.
Slay Dog is here, y'all.
I'm in the building. Let's go. Babsy said, let's go. I ain't here to play no games, y'all.
Just setting the tone early.
Oh, okay,
That's
my
all.
bad. Okay.
So I'm going to work from back to front. Back, front to front.
We got a packed show today.
In terms of guests, yes, we do. And thankfully, because I did the morning show this morning, so I've already done
how you feeling,
4
man?
hours of radio today. I'm jacked. Electrolytes are the key.
What time did you wake up?
4.
Ooh.
Oh, yo.
What time did I go to sleep is the question.
I don't know, but I'm doing the morning show tomorrow.
Let me just tell you, you're going to have a blast. Ramon Foster is the freaking man.
Yeah, he's the best.
Yeah,
I know
you're going to
that.
have a blast. So,
Let me tell you who's not waking up at 4 a.m. Me.
What time you getting up?
What time do you think I can leave my house and still make it 6 a.m.
There
when we're
will
on
be
the
no
air?
traffic. You
5:20.
literally, you can go. Not that I'm advising this, and kids don't do this at home or on I-65, but you can go 120 miles an hour.
Okay. But see, you remember when I did the news morning show,
Yeah.
I was best friends with the Brentwood police officer who
Yeah.
would sit there and like call me and be like, please slow down. So I was always okay then.
5:20.
Driving like a NASCAR driver, but I don't have my
Speaking of.
I don't have my contact anymore. She went to the TBI.
The executive producer of 3HL is Zeph.
What's up?
What up? So back to front. Vanderbilt baseball coach Tim Corbin at 5:20.
Corbs.
Vandy is the number 1 overall seed in college baseball. We had Tony Vitello yesterday. If you missed that, get it on the podcast where you get your podcast, rate, review, subscribe, all those things. Ryan Nelson at 5 o'clock, offensive lineman for the Michigan Panthers in the UFL. Why are we having him on? Because...
Not because of the UFL,
Well,
but
but
I found a really cool story about the dude.
he is the EA Sports motion capture actor for offensive linemen. So when you play Madden and you get a pancake block,
It's him.
this guy. How
It's him.
about that? How do you get that role? So he plays in the UFL. He's also a teacher, and he's the EA Sports motion capture guy.
So
He's got all the balls on him. You know?
Madden,
that's
yes, Madden
unfortunate.
for the last 2 years, and then college football, NCAA college football. He
That's
does
right.
it for that as well.
It's vital.
Yeah.
Our guy in Vegas, Todd Furman, will break down the Cracker Barrel 400, which we're going to talk about here in a moment. And he likes to pick the guy to win that's in the studio right now.
He picks him all the time.
Every week. So, Blaney, pressure's on, man.
For the win.
NHL, Stanley Cup playoffs, NBA playoffs. We're going to break it all down with him. Coach Mack, presented by Two Rivers Ford. Titans are into phase 3 of the OTAs. They met with the media today, all kinds of information coming out of the Titans facility. And then this guy, he's early. Look at this. Ryan Blaney in studio.
How's it going?
Driver
How are
of the
you?
number 12 Ford for Team Penske. What's up, man?
Yeah,
How are
man.
you?
Thanks for having me, everybody. I know I'm a little early, but
Hey.
thanks for.
Why? Did you drive really fast? Is that
No, I
right?
actually drive very slow on the roads. That's a big misconception about race car drivers.
Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not.
I feel like we're very subtle on the roads.
So are you good with other people driving?
Oh yeah,
You are.
chauffeur me around. I'm cool with it. Yeah,
You
I
don't
love
offer advice like, hey, man, you need to maneuver through this thing.
nothing I can tell you is going to help you out on the roads. I don't. I always try to get my wife. I drive so slow. My wife gets irritated at me. Because if we have we're in a crunch, she's like, "Babe, we gotta go." I'm like, "All right, you can chauffeur me around. It's fine. I'll be passenger princess for you. It's fine."
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That is absolutely amazing.
You don't drive slow in the left lane, though, right?
No, if I'm in the left lane, you're getting somewhere.
Right, okay.
But if you're not going anywhere, get out of the left lane.
This is a
Thank
pet
you.
peeve of this
See?
one's over here.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the passing lane,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. No, America does a terrible job at
Yes.
left lane is not for riding. Like if you go to Europe, anything like that, no one's in the left lane.
Have you
Nobody.
driven on the Autobahn before?
Yeah, I went to Germany a handful of years ago and got to drive on the Autobahn, and they do it right over there.
What
I mean,
was
they
that
understand.
like? You didn't go slow on that road.
No, so a big misconception about the Autobahn is it's not just no speed limit everywhere. It's sections that there's no speed
Oh, is that
limit.
true? I didn't even know
Yeah.
that.
So there's signs you have to look for them, and it'll be like the speed limit and then like across through it, and then you can go as fast as you want to go.
I need that.
Yeah.
I need that in my life.
It's pretty amazing. I mean, I had
Look at
this.
Slate. Look at Slate. No.
No, you don't, Babs. No, you do not.
You should take a trip right now. Fly there, get you on the, and then just fly home. Just do like a
Just do that.
3-hour round trip.
Yeah. I recently got a Ford F-150.
Yeah, this is
And-
what she needed.
Yes.
A big
and they're
ass
like,
truck. This is
really?
what she needed.
This is what you're driving now? Like, watch out. I
you go.
love it, man. It's awesome.
So what's your personal vehicle?
I got a good amount, but I say my favorite that I have is I have an 85 Bronco.
Oh, yeah.
I love like mid 80s
Hell yeah.
trucks and Broncos and stuff, or sedans. And
They've brought the Bronco
So, yeah.
back, obviously, and it looks good.
yeah, I have a new one as well, but
Yeah.
I love that 85
You stay in
Bronco.
that Ford brand.
Yeah, like the boxy style to me is just really good looking.
So you're a car guy, obviously, and you just said that. Like, how many vehicles do you have?
It's bad when you got to think.
Everybody has their thing, though.
Everybody has their thing. For me, it's watches.
Watches?
Yeah.
I've never been a watch guy.
Yeah.
Never
Well,
been
I
a
am,
watch
too.
guy. I think I have six or seven. I'm running out of space too. It's not terrible.
6 or
It's
7.
not terrible. I'm running out of room though, so we'll see what happens.
All right, so obviously we look on Wikipedia first, and then we dig around and stuff like that to learn more about you. I saw that you are from Ohio. Did you grow up there?
I lived there for probably 5 or 6 years, and then we moved down to North Carolina. But my dad grew up there. My grandparents are from there. They still live there. So I have a little bit. My blood is Ohio, but I was kind of North Carolina raised.
Okay, so like other sports, you watch college football, the NFL. Like who do you follow?
Yeah, I'm not like religiously like pulling for anybody. Like I'll watch Ohio State. I'll watch Duke, Carolina, Wake Forest. And then like pro sports, I watch Cincinnati and Cleveland and Panthers and stuff like that. I mainly root for like players. Like I like watching players, and then I just will end up watching their game. But I don't have like any pillows of like sports teams that I like or like sheets. I don't have any like Buckeye sheets on my bed or nothing like that.
I'm
Thank
glad
goodness.
because that would be really weird.
I know there's a lot of.
Grown-ass
I know
man.
I'm in Tennessee country right now.
Yes,
so
you are.
There's a lot that do have that of grown ass men
Yeah.
that have
This guy like 2 feet from you play basketball at Tennessee.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Ryan Blaney with us, NationalSuperspeedway.com for tickets for this weekend racing Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sunday, the Cracker Barrel 400 at 6 o'clock. We'll tell you more about it, but tickets, 866 race ticks. It's going to be fun. Do you like that track?
Yeah, I enjoy it. It's we've gone there since 2021, and brings in a great crowd. Just being about 30 miles away from here, it's it draws a great amount of people, and I think the track's great too. It puts on good shows.
How different is concrete?
Way different than asphalt.
You have to drive it differently?
Yeah, you drive it different. It just reacts different, like, concrete to asphalt, and how rubber gets kind of laid down on it's weird. And, concrete is unique as far as you have to pave it in sections, right? You have to cut it, and it's paved in like these rectangles. And so, like, if you ever go down the highway and you get to a concrete patch, like, it's like da-dunk, da-dunk, da-dunk.
Right,
Like,
so you feel it,
we
right?
feel that going 180, right? So it's magnified. So it's pretty unique. So, but I think that's what makes it, special, is because you have that uniqueness, and it's a different type of surface and what we're dealing with.
So how much does temperature affect all the surfaces, like a day race as opposed to maybe a night race?
Yeah, I feel like concrete is way more temperature sensitive for like racing than asphalt. And that is mainly like rubber. If it's cold outside, rubber doesn't lay down on concrete. Like if it's warm, you'll see. And I feel like concrete racetracks are pretty cool to watch because the start of the weekend, they're pretty bright, right? They're white concrete. And then as we get running, they get darker and darker and darker. And you can kind of see like the rubber progression through the weekend. And when it's hot, like I hope it is this weekend, you'll be able to see that. But it like, concrete's pretty, it's not porous like asphalt is. So like it just like cakes, it's almost like pancake and sheets onto the racetrack, which is kind of odd. But it's just how it reacts to whatever chemicals they got in tires and stuff.
Sunday, 83 is the high, 61
Perfect.
low. So.
Yeah, that's a perfect temperature for the race.
Do you like racing at that time of day? Because, you start out with the sun, and then you get to dusk, which is my favorite time of day, and then night.
Yeah, when you go through a big transition like that, it's pretty unique. Just how the racetrack changes. It cools off through the night, which is good. It's nice for me in the car because I'm not sweating my tail off as much. Because really, whatever it is outside, add 30 on it to what's in the race car. So,
Dang.
Yeah, it's a own personal sauna, which is nice.
So if you race like in the heat of the day, Vegas or wherever, how much weight do you drop? Like, do you notice that?
Yeah, I'll weigh myself, just
You
like
do?
personal curiosity. And I'm not a very big guy. Like, I don't really have a lot to lose, but I lose it's average like 5 pounds a race, and then I just get it back.
How about that?
Then sweat it back out. Yeah.
And then let me know if you need me to sit in.
You're not fitting in a car. Like, you can't even get to the window.
It ain't
too
about it.
big.
Just stick a leg in there. That's 2 pounds. Cool with that right now. I take all exceptions. I'm cool with it.
Listen, we had this conversation. Those doors don't open.
I know. See, that's
You're
the
gonna have to
problem.
like crawl
Yeah.
your
Dukes of Hazzard,
butt in the
that's-
window.
Yeah.
The way my body's set
we
up
can
right
get
now,
one.
it's gonna be
We'll
rough.
get you in one.
Okay, all right. See.
We got Shaq in one.
Really?
One time, yeah.
If you can get Shaq in one.
Yeah. They had a special,
Had to have a sunroof
special
or
fitted
something.
guy.
Yeah.
We'll find something out. We can get something for you. Yeah.
Ryan Blaney in studio with us. Obviously, the race coming up this weekend. Cracker Barrel 400 on Sunday, racing Friday, Saturday. We'll get into some details as I mentioned. You mentioned your dad and your granddad. You come from a racing family, like a lot of drivers. Was it always going to be this for you, career path?
Yeah. I don't think it was ever a given. I certainly would have liked to have done it, you know, and just growing up around it and wanting to. When I was younger, I just wanted to do what my dad did because I was around it all the time and I was fascinated by it. And I got a unique look as a kid of what the world was like what everything went into it, like from building a race car and prepping it to get to the track. And then from a driver's side, just being around dad of what all goes into, being a race car driver, and I was always fascinated by it. And I played other sports as a kid. I just didn't have the love for it, know. And honestly, I love playing basketball. I played baseball, but I wasn't very great at it. And I looked at my dad. My dad's shorter than me, and I was like, well, you're not going to be a basketball player. You're going to be like 5'9", and you're not going to be a baseball player because you're 5'9" and you're 140 pounds. So racing probably sounds like a really good one. Fun fact, my uncle, my dad's brother, he got my grandfather's genes. My uncle's 6'5".
Wow.
He's in the Hall of Fame at West Virginia for basketball.
Hey.
Nice.
And he actually got drafted by the Lakers in the mid-'80s.
All right.
And blew his ACL out and went racing after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said 140. So when you lose 5 pounds,
it's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah. I'm pretty good at weight fluctuation, though. I can gain and lose 3 pounds in a day.
So
Really?
what do you do after a race? Like, what does that look like? Because it's funny. Like, like the mental grind for us is nowhere near what you do, but still, what we do, we have to be up and all this stuff. So when the show ends, I always tell people, I need some time to decompress.
Yeah.
And that's just 3 hours of talking. Like, what is your post-race thing?
Yeah, so Sunday, let's say we get done with the race Sunday night, we'll fly home, get on the team plane, fly home. And then usually right when I get home, it takes me a little bit, even longer to kind of get my mind resting to where I can go to bed. So I'll usually...
Is your body still like shaking and vibrating?
Not my body. So, I mean, your body gets sore.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll go sit in a cold plunge for a little bit when I get home to just kind of help me out. I usually go like cold plunge sauna, and then I'll go like have a couple beers and I'll rewatch the race.
Yeah.
And then by that time, I'm usually ready to go to bed. So it does take 3-4 hours for me to kind of get not my body ready to go to bed, but just like my mind decompressed and wound down.
When you rewatch the race, do you turn the volume down or do you listen to the commentators?
I watch it pretty low.
Yeah.
Pretty low volume.
You don't want to hear what they're saying.
No, I don't care. I just want to see the race.
Those broadcasts are incredible. And on radio, that's one of the best things radio does. I've said that forever with regard to how races are presented. But they have such access to you guys, you know, and it's cool watching to hear you and your crew chief talk about what's going on.
I think that's one of the neatest parts about it is the access that, the sport gives to fans and stuff. And, it'd be like having like you said, you can hear the driver and crew chief and spotters all communicate. You get a radio, it'd be like having a headset for being on the sidelines of an NFL game. You get to hear them calling plays, and you get to hear that banter back and forth, and that's available, which is I think just a cool little inside look of what actually goes on, which you don't get a lot.
So she does UFL games, and I wonder if they kind of stole some of that from these NASCAR broadcasts because
you hear
she has incredible access with this UFL
and you hear
stuff.
play calls, hear, which, doesn't help as far as like the next week when you're facing a team. They know exactly what your plays are and what the calls are and all of that. But yeah, it's, and this is what I always said. So my first job out of college was in Wilmington, North Carolina. I didn't know a lot about NASCAR. I had to learn very quickly, obviously being in North Carolina. But I was like, and then I ended up, my second job was in Richmond, RIR. So we always had the short track race there, which was awesome. But I was like, there's no other sport where literally 3 minutes before you're about to go and compete, I can sit there and talk to you, or interview you or
true.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Now the UFL has done that, right? But that's a completely kind of different thing. But other than that, like you're usually not chatting with an athlete, a couple minutes before they're about to compete.
No, it's just part of it.
You're
just used to it, and you learn how to flip the switch on and off pretty quick, like of competitive mode, and then doing the fan interaction or meet and greet, right before you get in the car. Yeah. So you can turn it on and off pretty quick. Yeah. Yeah. So usually once the anthem goes off, then you're full on switched, ready to go. Ready to game mode. So.
Let's do this. Let's take a quick break and come back, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, of course.
And, we'll hold you prisoner a little bit. Friday, Craftsman Truck Series race at 7. Saturday, Xfinity Series race at 6:30. Sunday, the Cracker Barrel 400 NASCAR Cup Series race at 6 o'clock. Again, NashvilleSuperspeedway.com, 866-RACE-TIX. So what may happen when you come back, Blaney, is that you may get put into this thing that Slay calls the Boom Boom Room.
Awesome.
And so we'll do that.
Ray's Boom Boom Room?
How about that?
He knew.
How about that?
That's how it all started.
Blaney,
that's where it came from.
Look,
That says a lot about you, man.
I got you,
I
buddy.
know you high character guy. I already know that stuff. Listen,
Newgarden's from here. Josh Berry's from here. You're our favorite guy. We'll be right
Love that. Thank you.
Ryan Blaney. More next. 104.5 The Zone.
What's happening, y'all? Car accidents happen all the time, and you understand that. What can it do? It can throw off so much whether it comes to job, bills. Just your peace of mind. How you going to get to work the next day? What if you got to take the kids to school? You got to worry about getting a rental car. So many different things that you go through your mind, and you got to settle back in. Now, with that being life-altering, you need somebody right there to settle you down, talk to you, and get you right what you deserve. Blair Durham and the team, that's what they do at Bart Durham Injury Law. This team's been fighting for folks in Tennessee for years, making sure insurance companies pay up. So no upfront costs, no waiting around, just real people making sure you get what you deserve. So if you've been injured, don't wait. Call BDIL, that is Blair Durham and the team, and let them come out the corner. Put the gloves on, box for you, make sure things get settled where you can get back to normal life. Get everybody in the house back rolling the way they're supposed to. 615-242-9000, 615-242-9000. Here, 24/7 and ready to fight for you, Bart Durham, Injury Law. That is Bart Durham, Injury Law, 615-242-9000. That is it. So listen, going into it,
3HL 104.5, The Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay. You okay in there, Seth Dog?
No, equipment malfunctions are making me very angry right now.
Ryan Blaney in here, driver of the number 12 Ford for Team Penske, and he's kind of like our crew chief. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah, a lot of technical difficulties we deal with
He
that.
may or may not
As
have
well.
heard me blow up on the equipment during the break.
Well, so
Copy.
he deals
Had a
with all
little
that,
tantrum.
and we just have to keep going.
Just a little bit.
Like
Right.
You know what I mean?
Just got to keep going. Shows got to go on.
Must go on.
So Boom Boom Room is coming up, and I can't believe you knew where that came from. That's absolutely amazing.
Life is one of the best movies ever made, I think.
Man, I am telling you, from the movie to the soundtrack, actors, excellent.
We mentioned
What
New
year
Gar-
was that?
99, I think.
Oh,
In
okay.
my freshman year of college.
You said if you opened a bar, you would name it that.
Ray's Boom Boom Room. And people were like, "Who's Ray?"
See? See?
Random guy.
Yeah, yeah,
me.
yeah.
I own it, but we're gonna call it Ray.
Yeah, exactly.
So before we go to the Boom Boom Room, obviously the news around the race world involves your team, Team Penske, on the other side of things with IndyCar. What was your reaction to what went on there? And obviously Newgarden News from here was involved in that, and they had to start at the back of the race and all these things. Does it spill over to NASCAR at all?
No, I don't really think it spills over. I mean, it definitely stunk, right? It stunk for the whole group, and I hated it for Roger Penske, and because he's got to take the bullets for that, and because he owns the team.
And he did.
He did, and that's just the type of guy he is, right?
Yeah.
He owned it and faced it and took the repercussions of it and just moved on. And how do you move forward from it? So, you're online all the time in racing. Like, how do you push limits and how do you find edges? And it's just one of those things where it kind of bit him a little bit. But they handled it great. And Roger's big thing is what's the next thing? How do you move on? You deal with it. And then you go on,
Isn't it funny
next week.
how news cycles work, though, in today's day and age? I mean, it lasts like however long it lasts, not, to whatever the next story is.
Yeah. Yeah, to whatever the next story, yeah.
Or, some jackass like me asks you about it.
Keeps it alive.
But, people are wondering, like how it might affect you and your team and things like that.
No, I don't think it does. I mean, we are one team. We operate out of the same building in North Carolina, the IndyCar program and us. And
Okay.
But, not a lot of people know that.
all those guys.
Oh, yeah, I know all those guys. They're just a couple hundred yards away, in the other part of the race shop. But so we're a tight-knit group over there, whether it was the NASCAR side, IndyCar side. When we had the sports car team over there, we were all under the same building. And it affects everybody, but I don't think it's going to affect our side much.
So somebody in the chat before we get into the Boom Boom Room had asked.
By the way, you can watch the show live, YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch.
Twitch, please.
There you go, Babs.
Wanted us to ask you about this. The worst wreck you've ever been in.
Yeah, you're gonna be in a lot of wrecks. I've been in a lot of them, and it's just part of the sport.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think my worst one was here in Nashville. It was 2 years ago. It was 2023. So around all the racetracks, they have these things called safer barriers. So everything is a concrete wall, and then there's like this high density foam, and then this big metal wall. So it kind of absorbs impact, and that's been around for a couple decades. So I got spun on the front stretch, and I went to the inside of the racetrack and had no control, and I hit the straight concrete barrier. There was no safer barrier on it. I only hit it probably running 80 miles an hour.
If you can, in a situation like that, are you trying to go down the track? And
I really wasn't.
Okay.
I didn't have a choice.
Okay.
I kind of got.
Okay.
I got hit in the left side, and it just sent me there,
sent you
and
there.
the car just kind of stayed in this spot. I couldn't straighten it out. I couldn't spin it all the way out. It just was at a weird angle. And I hit this thing running 80, and it like 80 to 0 right away. Oof. And that was a hard hit, man. That hurts your body. I mean, they do the best job they can in these things to keep you safe, but the softest thing in these race cars is the human, right? Everything else is,
that's well said.
I mean, everything else is made out of steel and stuff. And so that was a hard one. Yeah.
How long did you feel it afterwards? You know what I mean? Was it like sore for a week?
Physically, I felt sore for probably a week.
Yeah.
Mentally, I felt like it took me a couple weeks to get over.
Yeah.
As far as the concussion side goes.
Yeah.
I like to say fear is a liar, but does fear creep in a moment like that?
No. I think I wouldn't say fear. I'd say not even like doubt, but I could tell something was off in the week afterwards. And so I was trying to get all the help I could, trying to figure out how to get ready because we're running next week, right? Like how do you got to get ready for next week?
Yeah.
You don't want to sit out. And, but yeah, that was kind of worrisome because like you can feel like something's off, you know, and there's nothing, and it's not like a bone is going to heal, right? You know, a timeline on the bone that's going to heal. When it's something with your brain, like that's scary because you just don't know. Like you don't know if you're going to wake up, you're going to feel 100%, if you're still going to feel off a little bit. So that scares me more than anything physically, like a broken bone or anything like that. You're going to get over the soreness, but the mental side, it takes a little bit longer.
Ryan Blaney, 2023 NASCAR Cup Series champion, 13 wins, 153 top tens in the series. Still looking for that first one in 2025. We were talking during the break. You're running fast.
Yeah, we're good. We just can't seem to catch a break. It's kind of been a rocky start to the season of blowing motors and getting caught up in wrecks at just kind of wrong place, wrong time. But that's just kind of the sports the way it goes. And I've always just tried to tell myself, like, despite the finishes, like, how are we operating as a team? Are we doing the right things? Are we communicating well? And I think we've been doing that. So I've been happy with that. It's just trying to straighten the course a little bit as far as our fortunes go. So hopefully that gets going the right way soon.
Ryan Blaney with us on 3HL. Slay Dog.
Yeah, Ryan, we appreciate you coming in. I wish we could put a seatbelt on the chair because you probably would need one. This is a little different. This is not as safe as getting in your car racing. But walking into this room, the door's locked behind you, is us in there. I'm asking you questions. You answer them to the best of your ability. Truthfully, you get let out of the boom boom room. But going in, the door's locked. Only way you can get out is my judgment. Do you agree to these terms?
Yes, sir.
Lock the door, Zeph. Lock the door.
Man, I heard him walk. Scary.
Yeah, no, it's real. It's real. Yeah, it is.
He went in willingly and quickly.
All right, Ryan Blaney, welcome to the Boom Boom Room. First and foremost, give us a nickname that you go by that probably nobody would know.
That no one would know.
Or do your close friends, family call you?
A lot of people just call me Blaney.
Okay.
I started doing that. I barely know you.
Yeah.
It just kind of fits, right?
my dad had the coolest nickname ever. These dirt racers have cool nicknames. So my dad's from Ohio, and they called him the Buckeye Bullet.
The Buckeye Bullet.
Wow.
Which was cool. And
that is cool.
Someone came up to me and called me this nickname like a month ago, which I thought was super cool. So I'm from this place in Ohio called Trumbull County. And someone called me the Terror of Trumbull County. I was like, that's kind of cool. Kind of like that.
It might be able to stick.
Not quite as cool as the Buckeye Bullet.
No, the Buckeye Bullet's unbeatable.
I don't know. Blaney's pretty cool, too.
All right, big music guy or movie guy? Which one?
I say both, man.
Both?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, that's even better. So somebody's creating a movie for you about your journey. Who is playing you and who's doing the soundtrack?
Who's playing me? Gosh. Who was that guy? People say I look like him. He was on Grey's Anatomy.
I was just going to say it. I was just going to say it.
Dempsey?
Patrick Dempsey.
Patrick Dempsey. You do look like Patrick Dempsey.
People always
look
say
like Oh my gosh, I'm creeped out now.
Davenport, that's not a bad guy to look like either, is it?
No, that's not a bad guy to look like. You look like a younger version of him. Yeah.
So Patrick Dempsey, there we go. We settled that. And then doing the soundtrack?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, maybe you can pick two.
Are you a country guy, rock guy?
I'm kind of all the above.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up a metalhead.
Really? Like metalhead how? Like Megadeth?
Like I was
Metallica?
a big Slipknot guy growing up.
Slipknot, okay. Yeah.
And they were from Iowa. My mother's from Iowa, so I was like, I had that connection with them. They were actually from a town over that my mother grew up, which was kind of funny. But that's not a good soundtrack for a movie. I mean, that's kind of a scary soundtrack.
I'm just saying.
It would be. It's an odd combination.
I tell you,
Patrick Dempsey and Slipknot.
Like Danny Elfman soundtrack. He's got some pretty good tunes.
Okay.
You know, he's done a lot of movies.
Yeah.
We can roll with that. So, all right, you get a concert you get to go to. Pick anyone in the world, one of your favorite artists. They pull you on stage. You got to perform a song with them. What song are you going to perform? Got a little karaoke in front of 40,000 people.
Yeah, karaoke.
You can't mess up because you're in mid-stage with the artist himself. Hey, Ryan, come on up here, Blaney. We got something for you people.
So,
what are you singing?
so
This would be something you practice in the shower or whatever.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this. Don't make me. If I say the song, don't make me karaoke.
I won't make you do it.
So I'm a big fan, and this guy's from North Carolina, so I'm a even bigger fan. So J. Cole is from Wilmington, North Carolina.
Hey, Cole
So
World.
shout out to Cole World, North Carolina, Wilmington guy. I used to be able to, I don't know if I could do it anymore. I used to be able to recite when 2014 Forest Hills Drive came out. Wet Dreams.
Yes.
That was one of the funniest and best songs I've ever
Everybody
heard.
that was a teenager in school, somehow that relates to as a guarantee.
Yeah, I feel like I could nail that. If you gave me like 10 minutes of practice, I could go karaoke that in front of his crowd.
That would definitely go viral.
That's all right. That's all right right there. Okay. All right. So you got to get something quick. You making something at home or you getting something to go as far as food? Real quick, you go in there and make a little peanut butter and jelly sandwich, or what would be a go-to? You're going to stop through the drive-thru and grab something quick.
I'm a big PB&J guy.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You
Big
ain't here working your
PB&J
area in
guy.
the boom boom room. You trying to get keys made, man.
Brothers over
Dude,
here.
like this is like Step Brothers, I'm telling you.
I got you.
Yeah, like we just
PB&J
become
is
best
a go-to.
friends.
It's been my go-to for like for 31 years of my life.
Really?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
And then to go, I'll tell you what's an underrated place of grab and go.
Okay.
Do you guys have them around? Do you have Culver's around here?
Yep.
No, but I do.
Yeah, we do.
We do. I know we got one in Knoxville. Oh, okay. All right, cool.
I love Culver's.
Culver's
Is it new?
No, it's been there forever. It's got
Really?
that custard or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great place. Very underrated.
I slid in one in Knoxville. All right.
It's over there in the Walmart parking lot
Gotcha.
in Cool Spring.
Oh, great. Now Slay's going to get a new favorite
You gotta
here.
check it out. Just,
Check it out.
I
Bring
had one in
extra.
Knoxville. So, all right. Biggest motivator in your journey. You know, when you reach back, like you said, sometimes you had to, recalibrate, get your mind together. Somebody you got to call on. Who can motivate you the most right now in this journey?
I'd say it's cliche but it's my dad.
Right.
Because he's always been number one guy in my corner.
Mm-hmm.
He's always been a guy I can call to talk to about certain things in my job because he's been through it all.
Yeah.
So I got really lucky on that side is, whether good times, bad times, like he's always been a really good guy to be, and he's not a very outspoken guy, but when he does, you listen. He's kind of one of those dads, but he's always been the best guy to call if I need advice, if I need help kind of getting over something. Mm-hmm. He's been the main guy.
Switching sports, real quick. You get to switch with one athlete in any sport. Who are you switching with?
I think it'd be really hard not to want to be Michael Jordan. He was the biggest athlete of all time.
I think you're right.
If you could be MJ in the 90s, like that's the dream.
All right, I'm going to let you out of the boom boom room
reasons.
now. Yeah, absolutely. Letting you out of the boom boom room. Listen, Blaney, you did a really good job, but since you
Really good
know
job.
Life, give me one of your favorite lines or favorite characters from the movie Life.
One of the funniest scenes in that whole movie, there's a lot of them,
It's plenty.
but this scene, they complement each other, these scenes,
Yeah.
is when Claude goes and eats that pie off the window.
Yeah,
For sure.
And then they got to go stand on them bottles.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, my toes in the bottle.
Yeah.
That's one of the funniest lines ever.
Yeah.
And he eats that pie and he's so hot.
Yeah. Hey, that is excellent right there. And him and Ray wasn't even talking. Hey, man, that's what I'm talking about, man. Blaney, you did a terrific job in the boom boom room. Zelf, let him out of the boom boom room.
Thank you.
Hoorah.
So, middle kid with older sister, younger sister, was that tough?
No, I liked it. It was
You did?
great. Yeah. So we're all 3 years apart. I loved having an older sister because she was like,
She didn't boss you around.
no, she never did. I feel like the younger one bossed me around more than the older one. And the older one was more of like a guide, like she knew, hey, here's who you should know. Because when I got into high school, I was a freshman, she was a senior. So like she kind of knew
That's perfect.
the tail of tape and all that stuff like that. And she was a pretty cool older sister for me.
Is it tough having a birthday on New Year's Eve?
It's great.
It is.
It's all never have to plan anything.
Oh, that's a great point.
Something's always going on.
And
like, you can just
everybody's
go
ready
out.
to party for your birthday.
Yeah. Even if you walk into a room and you don't know anybody and they're celebrating, you're like, celebrating me. It's great. It's great. Yeah.
Even if people forget.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
First win, Pocono? Am I right
Pocono
about that?
2017, yeah. My first cup win.
That's a cool track, just from aesthetically. Walk us through that. What was that like coming down the stretch?
Yeah, that was a neat day. So I was young. I was 22, and just being able to. So the team I was racing for the time was called the Wood Brothers, and this year is their 75th year anniversary of being in the sport. Mm-hmm. So they've been around every single year that NASCAR has been around, and just really, really historic race team, amazing family, family-run team. And it was their 99th win overall, and I was also really mad when I left. I didn't get them 100, but that was super cool. And I think one of the neatest parts about that day was it wasn't only my first win in the Cup Series in NASCAR. It was a lot of those folks on that team's first wins. Like I had a couple of those folks that came up with me through the lower series, kind of migrated with me to the Cup Series, and for all of us to get a big first win together, I thought was really, it culminated into something really special.
Ryan Blaney with us, 3HL. All right, what do you remember about your first Cup race?
My first Cup race, 2014, I was in Kansas,
Yep.
and I was running the Truck Series, which is like 2 tiers down from the Cup Series that day. And so I ran trucks full time that year in 14, and I was running my first Cup race. And Kansas is a pretty fast racetrack. We were running like 210 getting into turn 1 in the Cup cars. Jeez. And so I remember I jumped out of we were practicing the trucks, and then I ran over to go practice this Cup car right back to back. And the trucks are like 30 miles an hour slower than the Cup cars. And I remember getting in this Cup car and going down the front stretch for my first laps, and I just had this thought to myself, like, holy crap, I'm going really fast. Like, and I don't know if I'm gonna make it. Like, your entry speed to the corner was so much faster than what I just A and B'd. Like, I just A and B'd something that it was like going from a Prius to a freaking GT. Yeah. Like, it was the craziest feeling ever. And it stuck, and but I'll never forget that feeling of like, I'm going really fast right now. Yeah. I don't know if I'll make it out the other end.
Who are your best friends in the sport?
I grew up with Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace. We've known each other for 20 years. We raced together growing up. Chase and my dad used to race together.
Right.
And then Bubba I grew up with in the Charlotte area, and he and I ran a lot of races when we were 10 years old together, and kind of both came up through the sport at the same time. So us three have been really good buddies for a long time.
Are there guys that you're not friends with?
I mean,
sounds like a boom boom question.
Just rivals.
Honestly, besides those two guys, like, I'm friendly with most of them, but they're not like buddies. Like, I don't go hang out with anyone else other than like Chase and Bubba.
I guess there's a certain level of respect, right? Like that
there is. Yeah, I respect everybody.
You know what everybody's going through.
Yeah, I respect every single person, whether I like you as much as the other guy, maybe not, but it's just kind of goes week to week, But you respect them because it's tough to be at the level that they're at, but respect only goes so far. You could get ticked off by somebody pretty quick.
Cracker Barrel 400 NASCAR Cup Series race, 6 o'clock on Sunday. The Truck Series on Friday. Xfinity Series race on Saturday. 866 Race Ticks, NashvilleSuperspeedway.com. I know you made a lot of fans in the Nashville area today, and we really appreciate you coming in, man, and opening up.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you having me. This is fun.
Ryan Blaney, y'all, gonna get that win this weekend. You feel good about it? You feel confident?
I hope so. Yeah, I feel pretty good. Hopefully, I don't let you down.
we got a couple people in the chat that said they're betting on you.
Okay. Well, I hope I don't let all of you down.
I'm gonna ride with you too, man.
It's Ryan Blaney. More 3HL next on 104.5 The Zone.
All right, sometimes it's time to upgrade the things in your home, like maybe your windows and doors. And I get it. It's not like the sexiest thing to, upgrade in your home, but sometimes you got to do it. And if you're going to, you need to do it with Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. And you might be surprised to learn how affordable replacement windows are from Pella Windows and Doors. Even more affordable for you right now if you get the Dawn deal. They're celebrating 100 years in business. They let me give you a new deal every single month. And for this month, it's 50% off qualifying installations and 0% APR for 36 months. Ask for details. All you have to do is tell them to give you the Dawn deal, and they'll take care of you. 615-249-1910. You can easily schedule your free consultation online or stop in one of their showrooms. They've got one in Franklin at 277 Mallory Station Road, one in Hendersonville at 256 East Main Street. And the showrooms are awesome, by the way. So much fun to play and tinker with all the different windows and doors and options they have in there. But yeah, ask for the Dawn deal. Schedule your free consultation, PellaNashville.com.
Three HL 104.5 The Zone. How good was Blaney? See,
on point.
Here's the thing with these NASCAR guys. We've done 3 of them recently, and they're all great.
Yeah.
Even if, like, I can't speak for y'all listening, but I would imagine even if you're not a NASCAR fan, like, that you would enjoy hearing him.
Like, I enjoy hearing him say in his first Cup race that they're going 210 around turn 1, and he's like, oh, Shiano, I'm going really fast.
Here we go.
Like 210 miles per hour.
Here we go, Jim.
Yeah. Tony.
Yeah. It's so cool to kind of sit down with those guys and see what makes them tick because, I mean, they're flirting with disaster, literally, like the Molly Hatchet song. But every time they get in the car, you know what I mean? Like That's a tough way to make a living. But, you know,
I'm
there's
going to
also,
go let them out real quick, by the way. I'll be right back.
they said they were good, Babs.
They are not.
They're not.
Yeah, that's I think that's in any sport. Like for the fan listening and watching, or us interviewing and things of that nature, you got to think like that. But guys that run out there to play football, like every play is a car crash. You know what I mean? Basketball, like your leg could be, you're jumping every single play.
It's a great point.
Like your leg could snap at any moment.
But 210 into a corner?
Yeah, I
And the other part of that is, like, you never
20
know.
miles per hour into a linebacker.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Like,
But, like, in these cars, like, you never know if somebody's going to spin out right in front of you. Like, a lot of times it has nothing to do with you, and you get caught up in the wash. And that's the same in every sport. You're right. But, man, that's a wild life. And all of these guys start when they're, like, 8, 9, 10 years old.
Yeah.
Dude, he totally looks like Patrick Dempsey.
He did. I was sitting there looking at him like he looked like somebody.
I was about to be like, oh, yeah, McDreamy.
Yep.
And then I was like, wait, that might be, that might come off as a little inappropriate.
It wasn't going to be cool coming from me either. So.
Yeah, it would have been way cooler coming from you.
Yeah, but man.
That was crazy.
That was dope. Great interview.
I asked Todd about him because Todd literally picks Blaney every week because of what. That's how I knew to say. Like, you know, you're running fast every week or whatever. But one of the things Todd said, his fiance/wife is smoke. That's what he said about Blaney.
I was about to ask him about that. I was about to ask him about that. About
it's got to
and
be
everything,
wife now because he had a ring on.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, but I was like, you know what?
She was a model.
We'll get him next time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Go Blaney. Is she tall?
I mean, you don't walk
now
around
I'm-
looking like McDreamy and not, you know what I mean?
I mean,
have something to
he
match.
looks like McDreamy.
That's something to match.
Makes sense, don't it?
Oh, wow.
2 dreamies.
Gianna Tullio. Yeah, she's hot.
Titans out there.
Italian.
Coach Matt coming up at 4:00. Phase 3 going on. Phase 3 is kind of a ramped up deal with regard to what NFL teams do. So 20 NFL teams hit the OTA practice field yesterday in Phase 3. 7 before that, 5 today. So that's 32. But so they can do competitive things, and I kind of walked it through with Savage this morning, and he said, you know, based on his experience, they're not supposed to have contact, but there is contact. And anyway, competitive situation with 7-on-7, 9-on-7, 11-on-11, and things like that. And Slay, your guy, Traylon Burks, was back out there a little bit.
Oh, was he?
Yep.
What was he doing?
Running around.
He was running.
That's funny.
And he wasn't hurt. And he didn't get hurt, as far as we know.
Yeah.
He's still not full go, but he was out there. What are you doing? You're going in the bag.
Just letting the people know.
You are not getting that jersey out.
Just letting the people know.
Stop.
Yeah.
Have you
Still
ever
alive.
Have you ever watched this thing?
Yeah, ain't
No.
need. That's not.
No, look,
that's
it
none of
still
anyone's
has
concern.
honey mustard on it. I see it from here.
Yeah. And me and old Burks are back. Hey, I thought y'all could get rid of us, but we're back, baby.
We'll talk about the Titans next. Coach Mack next. 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
Just saw my neighbor is looking for a company to get their roof replaced because they had some hail damage. And maybe that is you. And you know, there are other houses in your neighborhood that had hail damage from some of the storms we had the last 2 weeks. North Point Roofing Systems can help you out, and they are local here to Nashville. Offices in Brentwood. They're in the Maryland Farms area, and they will guide you to protection, roof repair and replacement, gutter replacement. They are a GAF Master Elite Roofer. Only the top 1% of roofers have this training and this label. It's based on background checks and extra training and all of that. You're talking top 1%. That's what North Point Roofing Systems is. And they will come do a free drone inspection. Takes 13 minutes total. And they can tell you if you have damage on your roof. Get the honest feedback on the health of your roof. Go check them out on their website. Super easy to book there. North Point Roofing Systems with an S.com.
Good afternoon. It's 4:01. I'm Joseph Bonanno live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. The Tennessee Titans were back on the practice field for day 2 of OTAs today. Titans #1 overall pick Cameron Ward spoke to the media and was asked how he's taken advantage of practice despite having to split reps with the other quarterbacks in the room.
Just getting a lot of mental reps, whether Will's up, BA, or Tim is up. Then also just going through it in my head, the formations, the play call, the motions if we have one. So really just, getting understanding of the full offense.
The Western Conference Finals continue tonight in the NBA as MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the OKC Thunder look for a series win over Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves, who will be fighting for their playoff lives. Tip-off for Game 5 in OKC is at 7:30 on TNT. For our foundation repair, whatever needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Three HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. You okay, Slay Dog?
I am good, baby.
I caught that.
What?
Your little headphones.
Yeah. There's a little pop. Just keep you on.
Listen,
keep you on the swivel. That's all.
That's right. Ryan Blaney thinks he has a dangerous job. He ain't got nothing on us.
No, man. It was good though, Ryan Blaney.
Yeah. If you missed it, podcast. Even if you don't like NASCAR,
He will be.
I'm
better.
serious. He's great. Slay Dog's here, y'all.
I'm in the building. I thought you was trying to do a little trickeration back there, Zell.
Trickeration. Time for the show. How you feeling today, Slay Dog?
I am feeling terrific, man.
Showing those legs, man. Got those shorts on.
Yeah,
today.
man, it's hot outside. It's time to get back to it. Sweats. This was one of the best things Nike came out with. The short sweats. That's pretty dope.
Look at that.
Like now you ain't gotta wear sweats or something.
You're right. That's a plus.
Babs did notice. She's very impressed.
I know.
Hey, hello.
That
What
is
up,
not
Babette?
bunk.
That
so
wasn't
proud
bunk.
of
Yeah. Yeah, come on, Zeph.
I don't know. Her
What you
tone
doing back
sounded
there?
bunk.
Is your wife in the chat?
I don't know. Is she?
It says Zeph's wife.
What does it say there?
It says hi, Zeph.
It says hi Zeph and the name's Zeph's wife, but it could be somebody faking
I
it.
really hope that is her because that's really weird if it's not.
That
It
is
is.
true. Well,
I mean,
we're going
somebody
to block
fake
them
Ramon,
if it's not. Yeah.
There was a fake Ramon earlier.
Blocked.
Laura says, hey, y'all, hit the like button. Coach Mack joins us now. Titans in phase 3. Coach Mack, what's up? How are you?
Guys, good. You got everybody in studio today, plus Zeph's wife. That's true.
Yeah,
We're rocking it.
Somebody's got to keep us in line, Coach. I don't know.
That is so great. I just caught the end of your NASCAR. Those guys are amazing. They
Aren't
really
they?
are. Those drivers. I mean, having been around some of those dudes in my years that I was there in Indiana at the Indy 500, they're different.
Oh, yeah.
They're different. It's just a different breed.
Yep, Ryan Blaney, the number 12 Ford Mustang is what he drives. He's got a lot of cars. Like, I asked him how many cars he's got, and he had to stop and think about it. And he said, that's really bad if I have to think about it. And then he said 6 or 7. He didn't even know.
But I didn't think that was overkill.
Nah, that's
For a
I agree
NASCAR
with
driver.
Don. That's not overkill, but I mean, just the mindset. And of course, all of those drivers start out. They got a big dirt track there in Terre Haute, Indiana, too. Most of them start out, with racing the go karts and then work their way up. But it's an
Dirt
entirely
tracks.
different mindset of athlete.
Yep.
Speaking of a different athlete, J.C. Latham has dropped a bunch of LBs. He weighed in at 332, played at 360 and above last year. And Coach, he said on Buzzing with the Boys that, he just reached a point where it sounded like he had kind of a moment of clarity where he understood that he needed to be a little more agile and not as heavy.
Well, we've talked about this before, and all of you guys have been around enough professional athletes to know, especially when they first come into the league. I think really anywhere they don't understand there's a difference in a professional body than it is a collegiate body. because the demands are so much greater. Plus, you are going against grown men most all the time. You know, and it's the same way in the WNBA. You're going against grown athletes that, their job is to get their body right. And you're right. I mean, he did have a moment of clarity, and you could tell the difference when he came out today to face the media. You know, he went in and did some of his stuff, then he came back out. And of course, everyone. I mean, it's amazing that the difference. Of course, I've watched him all off season. I've told you the story when I went up to him on the indoor and said, "You really look good," and he does. But it's about longevity too. It's not only about performance; it's about longevity. And I think he's cracked the code.
About longevity for the season, too. I mean, because, you know, we talked about him kind of falling off at the end of the season, and maybe that was a part of it.
No, that's 100% right. I mean, it is, and especially for those bigger guys.
Yeah.
And the grind of what they do. I mean, you're 100% right. I mean, you can, and especially now, guys, they're going to go to 18 games pretty soon, so all of these guys that come into it, they need, I think, and having a guy like that on your team where you can visibly see it. Of course, a lot of the younger guys didn't know what he looked like when he first came in. Of course, he's still a big, unusual athlete. Let's just get that out there.
Yeah.
But to reach what he can do, I mean, he, as you said, he figured it out.
So somebody in the chat had said, okay, everybody's this Ken Thomas, everybody's sucking up to Cam. Can we ever get an objective assessment of what Will Levis looks like right now? So, Coach Mack, can you give us an objective assessment of what Will Levis looks like right now?
Yeah, I can. I mean, he looks a little more settled down before, because being frantic was a big part of his problem.
Yeah.
But just being
frantic.
And
that's a good
great
word
way
for
to put it.
I mean, he's had some areas of growth too. Now, and there were moments, even last year, that was a bad year for him. It was a bad year for this football team, as to where you could see glimpses of the ability that he has.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can all agree with that. What he needs to do is even that road out and take out the big bumps, and the big bumps that were hugely detrimental. He looks a little bit more settled to me right now. Now, of course, there's not any pressure of the season on right now, and let's be honest, there's not any pressure on to be the dude either right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but whatever he's gone through, I know he went out to California, and I know he worked. I know he's worked. You can tell that he's worked. He's never physically looked like he was out of condition. The whole thing of him was being able to maintain a level temperament during the ups and the downs, because that's what separates quarterbacks in this league, because they're all going to have problems at one time or another. I mean, you can remember when we played Brady here one year, we gave him so much problems that he finally they took him out of the game. But it's over the course of a game, a course of a season that you add on, that those guys have to be able to maintain some sort of composure. That's going to be his biggest challenge.
Yeah. Oh. Biggest challenge. What about the receiver corps? Do these guys seem to be, especially Calvin Ridley? What does he look like?
It's a young group. I mean, it really is, except for Ridley. And look, Jefferson's a smooth dude, man. He really is.
Yeah.
And so is Lockett. But it's a young group. I'm impressed with some of the young guys, Ron.
Mm-hmm.
Just watching them, because first of all, they're workers.
Yeah.
Second of all, the hand-eye coordination that they have. I mean, I really like. Io Manor continues to stick out on in 7-on-7 any team. They did a lot of play action stuff today. They did a lot of play action, did a lot of transcontinental stuff, put some naked boots in, and then Denard Wilson was bringing some pressures today out of odd and even man fronts, because their installation is going on from the first of phase 2 in this. So you can tell that they're at a point now, and I'm sure that they're scripting some things so that they put pressure on Cam Ward, put pressure on these quarterbacks out there on the grass now, just so they can get a real feel for what's going on. But the young receivers, I mean, have kind of separated themselves a little bit as the fact that they're not they don't look out of place at all. And I'll put Restrepo in that group too. This is an interesting dude.
What does it look like for the big fellas moving Big Bertha, even though they don't have any pads or anything, as far as the technique?
They are so far ahead of where they were last year.
Beautiful.
And here's the other thing that helps, that helps a lot. Of course, down there with Bill Callahan, it's go from, Rhett and I stood down there today. I said, Rhett, come down here with me. This is how we're going to start practice. And they had those jerseys sweated out in about the first 20 minutes.
And it wasn't even that hot today.
And it was not that hot. You're 100% right. He doesn't stop. And and again, you have to have constant pressure if you're going to get any better. And he puts constant pressure on those guys. You talk about Big Bertha, the guys that have been here, you can tell the ones that have been here with him before, they can move it. The other guys, if they're brand new to it, it's still a little bit of an eye-opener.
Can I go back to, because you mentioned
you want, dog.
Thanks, Coach. Because you mentioned the wide receivers, and at the very end you said and Restrepo, but I need more from you on Restrepo, because look, at the end of the day, dude is still an undrafted free agent, right? It's going to be very hard to make this roster. What tools have you seen?
It's going to be two things, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, and I did. I apologize.
No, it's fine.
It's going to be two things. It's going to be hard for him probably to make a roster, and it's going to be hard to run him off. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yep.
Because this guy is a worker, and all of these guys are. And I'll just say this: I'm at every practice. I've been there ever since the draft was over. And once these new guys came in, they've got 4 jugs machines after practice, running constantly, side by side. These guys do not give Matt Thompson and his group a break. They are down there working. I'm impressed with the work ethic of these young receivers. Every day after practice, they, once they do, whatever they're doing as a team, they and the tight ends, Chick-Okonkwo is one of the first ones.
Good, he needs to be.
They sprint down there to those jugs machines. And so, they're working. Now, look, Restrepo understands what he is, but he also puts look, this guy, you can tell that he just puts no limitations on himself. Yeah. His biggest thing is, his contribution is, how quickly can he uncover between the numbers? How quickly can he get the revolutions going so that he uncovers between the numbers? That's what he's going to have to work on in this league.
Coach Mack with us, presented by Two Rivers Ford. John Fossil Bones met with the media also, and he said it's important to allow players to play without fear. He said that's how you find more big plays. I'm anxious to see what the special teams element to this team looks like.
Yeah, well, I talked to Bones quite a bit before practice today. Bones is nothing but, first of all, he's a really, really smart dude, and Bones Fossil. Most coaches in this league, and again, I put myself in that category, sooner or later, everybody's got some ego to him out there. Yep. Bones has got zero ego. All he wants is for his dudes to want to play teams. The thing that will happen is these guys will start migrating towards him. I asked him today, I said, what are we on? And he was so excited. He said, Mac, I'm going to do directional coverage today. I want you to watch this. Watch what I'm doing here. It's so refreshing. And again, of course, I was with him for years, and watched him personally. Our offices were right next to each other, for 6 years there at the Rams. It's extremely, extremely, these guys are going to want to play teams. Now, the other thing is, guys, he brought in Johnny Hecker for a reason.
Yep.
Hecker's in the 13th season of the National Football League. Bones went and found him at Oregon State as a free agent when we first got that job in St. Louis.
Yeah.
But the things that Hecker can do with the football, as far as being able to cut the field in half, cut the field in quarters, it helps the coverage so much. That's going to be a huge thing to watch.
Yeah, and we reached out to Kern that day when that signing happened, and Kern said he said nothing against Stonehouse, but Hecker can really directionally punt that thing.
Well, yeah, and it's important for your coverage because, if you just kick the ball down the middle of the field, that's a lot for people to have to be able to cover. And plus, I mean, it's just like a defense. It's where you learn how to pin an offense and give them just only certain places to go. You've got to be able to pin the returners. Hecker's one of the best I've ever seen at it. Plus, Hecker's and Bones wouldn't say it today, but I've just been with him too long, and I know Hecker's a hell of an athlete. I mean, this guy's 6'5", 240 pounds. He's a hell of an athlete. They're going to do some nice things with him.
There is Coach Mack, presented by Two Rivers Ford every Wednesday. Thank you, Coach. Good stuff. Appreciate it.
Guys, my pleasure. See you.
Thanks, Mac.
Thanks, Coach Mack. I think I'm going to talk to you tomorrow morning.
He's gone.
Bye.
Because Mac don't waste no time hanging up now. He's going to get on out of there.
Good talk. Yeah, you get him tomorrow morning when you do the show with Ramon tomorrow. And then Savage Radio on Friday.
Mm-hmm. What's so funny?
I'm going to enjoy both of these days. I had fun with him, man. Ramon, man.
That's going to be a good time.
That's a dude right there. All right, when we come back, Todd Furman, sports betting, next, 3HO.
Todd Furman.
3HL 1045, The Zone, Britt Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay, the executive producer of 3HL is Seth.
What's up?
Oh. You can watch the show live, YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch.
Twitch, please.
The F&M Bank Chat is open, and Seth's wife is in there communicating with listeners.
What up,
Hi,
Alyssa?
Alyssa.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like this.
I know. I knew he was going to say that.
And it is
I'm
her.
like, she's so cute.
Verified. It's her. Todd Furman joins us now from Vegas. So, Furman, we had Ryan Blaney in, and he was unbelievable. So good.
Did you guys ask him all the hard-hitting questions about where their speed has been and the ability to finish races so far this season?
Babs, did we?
We did.
Yep.
And he
Yep.
was
What
like,
did Mr. Blaney have to say to defend himself?
He said that they have been running well. He said it's been blown motor here, wreck there.
caught up in somebody else's wreck there. Yeah.
So he said they got to put it all together. Yeah, ask him about the Team Penske stuff and all that. But here's the thing. We did tell him that, we have a sports betting expert that comes on our show every Wednesday and tells everyone to bet on Blaney.
And what did he have to say in response to all of that?
I don't even remember. I think he just kind of shrugged his shoulders and smiled.
No, and he said, I hope I don't let you all down.
Oh, that's what it was, yeah.
Here's the bottom line is I don't hold a grudge against anybody in any of this racket, whether it's a NASCAR driver or whether it's a college basketball player or anything else along those lines. So I know those guys have much bigger fish to fry. And as I said, I mean, they've continued to show speed on a weekly basis. And to Ryan's point, just a matter of time before they put it all together and drive the 12 car into victory lane.
Maybe it'll be this weekend.
Maybe it will. Did win the 2023 NASCAR Cup Series championship. And he said that year in Nashville was the worst wreck he's been in.
I mean, I think that's the one, if memory serves me correct, that he hit with such force that he had talked about having lingering effects for a couple of months after that.
Yes.
And even when they went into the playoffs, I mean, they didn't have high expectations to go out there and really perform. It wasn't until Talladega that they put it all together, and then they were a runaway freight train until Phoenix, until he won the championship.
Todd, he said he slid down the racetrack, and when he hit the wall, he was still going 80 miles an hour, and he went from 80 to 0.
Hey, I mean, anyone who watches that sport on a week-in, week-out basis, I mean, those guys, while it's a different level and skill set than we grew accustomed to in the stick and ball sports, they're truly the athletes that put their lives in harm's way. And credit to NASCAR, along with IndyCar, F1, and a lot of the other motorsports that have really increased the safety standards around them over the last 15 to 20 years. But I can't imagine driving at those speeds with the amount of G-force that's created and being willing to put it all on the line. Because if you're going to go out there and try and win races, you have to be willing to put it on the edge. And we saw it over the weekend at Indy for how these drivers got themselves into trouble. You saw crewmen catching on fire. I mean, motorsport athletes are truly a breed unto themselves.
So who do you like in the Cracker Barrel 400 Sunday at the Nashville Superspeedway?
You know, a lot of these numbers relatively short on some of the usual suspects that are out there. I mean, you mentioned Ryan Blaney kind of priced in that 7 or 8 to 1 range. Kyle Larson relatively short as well at 5. I mean, Denny Hamlin, another driver that's had a lot of bad luck lately. I mean, they didn't get their car full of fuel in their final pit stop at the Coke 600. Otherwise, he would have had an opportunity to get there. And before he won on Sunday, I would have made a case for Ross Chastain, knowing that this is Team Trackhouse's kind of home race in Nashville, one that they circle on the calendar. But that number at 12 to 1, a bit short. So full disclosure, I don't have anything on my outright card yet.
Okay.
I have to do a little bit more digging, and I'm not going to share anything with the listeners that I haven't already bet myself.
No, I appreciate that, and I know everyone does. It's interesting that track. He was talking about how different concrete is, and when you watch races at Nashville Superspeedway, we've seen multiple times where just the fastest car is the car, right? And people can't reel the leader in. Maybe this is a Blaney spot.
We'll have to see. I mean, Team Penske clearly missed on their setup last weekend at the 600. I mean, Blaney got caught up in the wreck, finished outside the top 30. But even just teammates Joey Logano and Austin Cindric, rather irrelevant for the way that race unfolded. So I'm curious to see how they bounce back. It's kind of been Hendrick Motorsports and JGR to a certain extent, but no doubt should be a fun race this weekend, and more importantly, one that'll take place in prime time to hopefully take the spectators out of that blistering Nashville heat. Although haven't looked at the weather forecast to know if you guys are dealing with 100 degrees and humidity on Sunday night.
83 is the high, limited chance of rain, 61 the low.
So relatively cool then when the sun goes down instead of a hot, slick racetrack in the middle of the day like we saw a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and it was interesting hearing him talk about how the track does change with the concrete setup as the temperature does go down. So, high of 83. So as the race is going, temperature's falling through the 70s. So, and into the 60s. So we'll see. With regard to the NHL, Florida's just better, man. Florida playing at Carolina today. They're both minus 110 though in this matchup, but Florida just seems dominant.
Yeah, pick 'em price tag on this game, but it is a far cry from where Carolina was priced in both games 1 and 2 in Raleigh. Game 1, they closed right around $1.25, upwards of $1.30. Game 2 with the quote-unquote must-win premium baked in. I mean, they got as high as minus $1.45, and as you mentioned, Florida has been the better team. They looked like they weren't all that focused for Game 4 at home, no different than what we saw last round against the Toronto Maple Leafs with a chance to close things out at home in Game 6. But I fully expect Florida to be much more entrenched here. They'll get some key contributors back in the lineup. Sam Reinhart's missed the last couple games with a knee injury. Nico Mikkola took a rough spill into the boards, looked like a shoulder injury that might keep him out a little bit longer, but all signs point to him returning, along with A.J. Greer on that fourth line. So it seems to be a little bit of a discounted price. Again, you're not stealing anything with Florida right around to pick them, but I would want no part of Carolina here. I think we got the Hurricanes' best effort, and they were still only able to beat Sergei Bobrovsky one time in that Game 4 win. 2 of those goals in the 3-0 win came of the empty net variety. So I think Florida knows what's at stake. They don't want to let the series to continue to give the Hurricanes any momentum like they did to the Edmonton Oilers in the Stanley Cup Final. So Florida or pass, the way that I'd be looking in tonight's Game 5.
Let's see. Mr. Keefe on YouTube. Todd Furman has the perfect over-the-air debate voice.
I don't know if that's good or bad, because normally when I debate Slay, it's one-way traffic, and Slay can't say anything to defend himself.
No, it's easy for you to get defeated is what he's telling you, Todd Father, so be careful.
Easy to get defeated. Look at you firing shots over there. I thought that you were so quiet to start this segment, you were taking notes or just hoping that I didn't bring up what happened to Tennessee's baseball team in the SEC championship.
No. That was expected. I was coming in on the back end and playing with house money with Tennessee as they walked into the SEC tournament. I didn't expect much. They shocked me with getting the wins that they did. Big time win over Texas. Vandy did what they were supposed to do. The number 1 overall seed spanked us up, and we hosting a regional. I mean, what else do you expect from us, Todd Father?
Look, a lot of respect being paid to the SEC from top to bottom. When you look at the favorites for the College World Series, 7 of the 8 teams with the shortest odds on the board, all hailing from the SEC. And depending on where you look, LSU and Arkansas kind of the de facto favorites, Vandy right behind them. I think Arkansas, though, honestly, Slay, one of the more vulnerable teams when you're looking at odds that short. Wouldn't shock me at all if they were an SEC team that underachieved in the tournament, something that we've seen Texas do year in, year out. But always one of the more underrated sporting events, one that I don't handicap a ton, but we'll definitely be locked in to watch and hope we can get a Cinderella story or two as we head towards the Super Regionals.
We'll do our best to do what we can, Todd Father. How about that?
I appreciate that. So you got to pick for me in the futures market outside of the SEC. I mean, are you going to make a case for North Carolina at 10-1 or someone a little bit further down the board?
No, do I look like a fool?
I hope that was a rhetorical question.
You really going to throw that to him?
Absolutely, I'm throwing it to him. Todd Father knows my size, and he will be seeing me at some point. So, yeah, he can answer carefully.
Answer carefully.
No, man. Hey, this is some good stuff. I know you ain't watching a little bit of softball, but Lady Vols are in it. They get to crank up in the College World Series, and they're playing Oklahoma. So. We'll see how that goes. Even though they did beat Oklahoma this year.
Bet softball?
Yeah, look, it's an uphill battle. It's not a sport that I really bet a ton of, Don. Only because you only get odds once the field of 64 gets announced on the women's draw, and it's real tough to kind of move money. There's no faster way than to lose an account than if you're picking apart women's softball numbers, watching some of these prices fly off the board. But it is interesting to see how they're priced, and to Slay's point, Oklahoma, a massive favorite over Tennessee. If you want to bet the Sooners to advance out of the Super Regional, you're putting up $5.20 just to make $1 coming back. And if you're looking elsewhere on the board, Texas, not a heavy favorite over Florida, but still north of $2. UCLA north of $3. And it's the Oklahoma Invitational, or so it feels like every year. They are the odds-on favorite to win the College World Series of the softball variety. Minus $1.45 for Oklahoma. You can get everyone else in the field for right around plus 115.
Do you do anything with the French Open?
Have a little bit of exposure in some of the futures market, but only if I can pick off prices throughout the course of the year. And the men's draw, in my opinion, it's all a collision course for what appears to be the Carlos Alcaraz, Jannik Sinner Invitational. And there's a reason that there's no other player on the men's side with odds shorter than 12-1, and that's Novak Djokovic and, of course, Alexander Zverev. The women's side, though, is always fascinating because this has been Iga's tournament for the last couple of years, but she has terrible form coming in. And when you look at some of the odds adjustments that take place, I mean, she's gone from right around minus $1.60 at the time of the Australian Open to upwards of north of 3-1. Arina Sabalenka has kind of been the big beneficiary, but two other movers throughout clay season. I mean, Mira Andreeva, after she won in Palm Desert, her odds crumbled from 18-1 down to 6-1. And then, of course, Coco, who's still looking for, one of those big-time elusive victories that she hasn't had the last couple of years. I mean, her price down in that 5-1 range, and the path sets up quite nicely for the American to maybe make some noise.
Yeah, she plays 6 a.m. tomorrow for those wanting to check out Coco Gauff. I didn't know if you got into some of the tennis majors like you do.
Yeah,
golf,
I don't do a whole lot on a match-to-match basis, just don't have the kind of bandwidth, but we'll watch, especially the French Open and Wimbledon, knowing the time slots. I mean, it's always great to wake up out here on the West Coast and see live sports early in the day. And on the flip side of things, when you get those late night matches at the U.S. Open and, of course, into the wee hours of the morning for the Australians. So majors always fun, even some of the Master Series, the 1,000 events when you get some of the best players out there. But nothing better from a men's standpoint than seeing the best players in the world take it from a best of 3 to a best of 5, because it really becomes a war of attrition as much between the ears as it is the physical skill set.
Well, Top Father, basketball look like it's about to wrap up. Get this thing over with. New York going down at the hands of Halliburton. But tonight you got SGA looking to close out at home against a ruckus crowd. Ant-Man and the Minnesota Timberwolves, who looks like he has zero help.
Yeah, tough spot. I mean, Minnesota played arguably the best they could. I mean, they got so much in the way of secondary scoring and still weren't able to get over the hump in that pivotal game 4 to even up the series. Unfortunately for me, laid a little 2.5 with OKC instead of taking the shorter money line and paid the price, given that late game variance that NBA bettors know all too well. Big number here today, 7.5, 8, kind of across the board. But for me, I can't get behind the Timberwolves. It feels like if Oklahoma City wants to make a final statement here and make sure they get rest before the finals will tip off on June 5th, they'll have every opportunity to do so. If Minnesota is going to be competitive, I think you're going to get their best shot early. So maybe look at the Timberwolves in the first half, but I would lean OKC and under as well. I think they're going to do everything they can to stymie the Timberwolves offensively. And like you said, it's one of the more raucous environments that you're going to get in the NBA. It's one of the few buildings that I've had a chance to go to, and it feels a little bit like a college atmosphere, the way they set things up. I think Minnesota finds their playoff run come to an end tonight at the hands of Oklahoma City, and we'll see the Thunder as a massive favorite in the NBA Finals, regardless of who they draw from the East.
Totally agree.
Totally agree. I mean, the NHL's been fun postseason, NBA's been fun, but now we've got all the series are 3-1.
Yeah, Edmonton ain't playing around, man. They out here. I told Top Father they were coming for blood.
You did.
The Oilers have flirted with a little bit of disaster over the last couple of games. I mean, Dallas got off to a very good start in terms of dominating play, albeit with a 1-0 deficit after the first period yesterday. But Stuart Skinner has had every single answer for this Dallas team offensively. And other than kind of that 6-minute stretch to start the third period way back in game 1, Dallas has been outplayed. Over the last 3 games, they've led for a grand total of 0 minutes and 0 seconds. But Edmonton dealing with a major injury. I mean, no Zach Hyman, it appears, out for the remainder of the playoffs. Takes away one of the more physical presences up front and some depth scoring. So if I was getting involved in a game 5, I'd probably look to make the case for Dallas in that minus $1.20 to 125 range. Was hoping we got another 6.5 on the total, but the betting market has not complied. Still lean under, but not a whole lot of value laying a price to go under 6, because I think there's a direct correlation between the Stars finding a way to get a win and this being a lower scoring game, given how well Edmonton has played on the defensive side.
Listen, Todd, so Slay's not going to pat himself on the back and break his arm doing so I will for him. 2 weeks in a row, Slay Dog has hit 2. Has hit a 7-team, 7-leg parlay. So we're rocking and rolling over here, man.
Missed last night by 1.
Yeah.
Did this one pay more than 12-1, or what was the going rate for 7 legs on this one?
Hey, it was big old, cool little bankroll, Top Father. Just be cool.
I mean, look, Slade, you got to start loading up for all the money that you're going to burn through betting the Vols on the gridiron when college football rolls around 87 days from now.
I get it back with the SEC in basketball, so it'd be cool.
Hey, well, maybe I figure you'd be handicapping the College World Series. Plenty of massive favorites that you can start laying with the SEC, as early as this weekend when they're taking on some of the automatic qualifiers from small conferences.
It's funny. You mentioned Arkansas. It could be Tennessee and Arkansas in the Super Regional.
I mean, that's the way it's setting up there. And I think if you're Tennessee, you'd like your options if that's the case. But look, Arkansas, not a team afraid to flame out before they even get to the Super Regionals. We'll see if they're able to set up what would be a very interesting matchup against Tennessee, should that be what we get next weekend.
By the way, we had Vitello on yesterday. Asked him if Arvidsson could get into that starting could get into a starting slot, and he said it hadn't been decided officially, but his long form answer was yes. So that'll be interesting to see what they do with him.
Well, I think, look, this is an Edmonton team now that's going to have to go a little bit further down the list for depth. So Arvidsson has kind of been a healthy scratch, and we'll see exactly what we get.
That's the other RV, but yes. Todd, great stuff, man. Appreciate it.
my fault, guys.
No, all good.
Always a pleasure.
See ya. Yeah, that's
I
funny.
think Todd was like, what is he talking about?
RV, like, why are they talking about Arvidsson?
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so Florida pass, OKC, Dallas.
He picked Florida early, too. Early in the day. So they pop across my little timeline.
And Alcaraz may be in French Open. Kind of reading between the lines with him, but there's not a lot of value there. So, there you go. Todd Father, I almost called him. Todd Furman. Ryan Nelson coming up at 5 o'clock, offensive lineman for the Michigan Panthers in the UFL. Really interesting story. He is the EA Sports motion capture actor for offensive linemen for Madden and college football, the EA Sports games. Vanderbilt baseball coach Tim Corbin at 5:20. So we've got a lot going on. Want to ask you a little bit about Mr. Halliburton when we come back next. 3HL. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Tim Corbin at 520.
That's going to be good.
You going to boom boom room Tim
I have
Corbin?
no choice but to put him in the boom boom room.
Corb's in the boom boom room.
Yeah, it's no choice at all.
How about Ryan Blaney knowing where that came from and then pulling dialogue out of the movie Life?
Yeah, too. He had no choice. He wouldn't have never got out.
Are you going to be secretly comparing like how Tony did in the Boom Boom Room and how Tim Corbin does in the Boom Boom Room?
No, everybody's their own entity. So people can compare.
You know what's interesting about those two guys, though? It's always interesting to me about, like, personality. It doesn't take one personality type to find success, right? Like, you can do it a number of ways, and those two are drastically different from a personality standpoint.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be interesting. Like, if you heard Tony Vitello yesterday and then hear Tim Corbin today, they're so different, but they're so ultra successful, both of them, obviously.
Yeah.
But the consistency that Vanderbilt's been able to put out there, 19 straight years in a regional.
Getting it done.
Whew.
That is getting it all the way done. When you talk about success, model.
Got to ask him about that pitching staff, too, man. That bullpen has been dominant. Mm-hmm. So, Corb's coming up at 520 on 3HL. Connor Fennell, ask about him. That's going to be fun to get that done. NBA playoffs. Indiana beats New York last night, 130 to 121 to take that 3-1 series lead. Pacers guard Tyrese Halliburton, 32 points, 12 rebounds, 15 assists. His over-under and you went with this bet, over 34.5 points, rebounds, assists. He was at 59.
Yep.
No turnovers.
That's how you affect the game right there.
15 assists and no turnovers.
Yeah. They do a good job, man, of movement. Ball movement. He's a point guard. I was telling a partner of mine today, talking basketball, if you gave me Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's the MVP, trying to think of some other really good point guards, any ones you could name, and then put Tyrese Halliburton on that list, if I'm a scorer, I'm picking to play with Tyrese Halliburton because he comes up off the ball. When the ball's inbounded after a made basket, he's not one that needs to dribble it up the court. If somebody's open up the court, he's pitching into the head, and the way they got it set up is you take your man one-on-one, and they're not forcing anything. So if they don't have nothing, they're okay with saying, okay, I'll bring it back out, give it to Tyrese. He's going to make a good decision with it. So those are the people that you want to play with. Jalen Brunson is another one. Like, I'm okay without playing with him. I'll give me a guy like the list that they came out with that he's on. Did you see that list, Yor? This list is like all guys that don't have a whole lot of wiggle, not known for the bag, like people say. But John Stockton, 15 assists and 0 turnovers, career games. John Stockton has 14 in a 19-year career. Chris Paul in a 20-year career has 13. Steve Nash in an 18-year career has 7. Muggsy Bogues in a 14-year has 7. Tyrese Halliburton in 5 seasons has 11.
Yeah.
So that's like put me on that team right there. I would love to play with him.
I kept wondering while I was watching, just from a sports fan standpoint, when you watch something like that, you understand how great that moment is, and that you're kind of lucky to be watching it.
Yep.
But from a former basketball player perspective, like, how much do you enjoy?
I love it.
Performances like that.
I love it because that's what you try to teach. Like,
because you know how hard it is.
Yeah, when you look at the superstars in the league today, it's 6-7 dribbles in one spot, not really going anywhere. This is efficient. This is putting the ball in a place where guys are coming off a screen. He's leading you into your shot, leading you up the floor into a layup. Like, he understands, and he has a lot of movement. So give me somebody with high IQ that wants to get off the ball, but also can make the open shot where you have to, you have to pay attention to him. You can't just.
Brunson was trying. And they got it inside 10 a couple times, and then, Indiana just, as you said, the ball moves. It doesn't stick.
He's getting help. Like with SGA, he's getting help from guys like Jalen Williams. When you look at the opposite end, Cat played well yesterday. But like going into it, my two questions. The two questions was Julius Randle for Minnesota and Karl Anthony Towns for New York. You've been looking at the other ones. Neesmith from Vanderbilt's been giving Halliburton help. Pascal Siakam's giving them help. And then on the opposite end, SGA is getting help from Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren. Like, you got to have help to be the superstar where you can play one-on-one.
It's going to be an incredible series. It's not going to get high ratings because it's Oklahoma City and Indiana, but in terms of basketball sports viewing pleasure, like
guess what though? Great. We may have to watch and see what happens with the ratings after game one, because if it goes like it's supposed to, like both teams defensively get after it, both of them play an exciting brand of getting up the floor, you know what I mean? So, and both got good coaches. So maybe, you know what I mean, as far as the market, yeah, I totally agree. But the average fan may dive in. I got some bad news too, man. It's stupid.
What?
Stupid news. Y'all ready?
That your parlay didn't hit?
No,
Like,
that
literally,
was supposed to hit. I just made another one.
wait,
too.
like right now while you're talking about,
No, I got it earlier, man. But I was, but we're finna have an action-packed show, so it ain't gonna be able to tell everybody.
Oh, okay.
What you got?
But man, the people called me back about my MRI. Lateral meniscus
oh, Slay.
No.
and deterioration of cartilage where the femur bone meets the knee.
Well, you knew that.
Yeah, I knew.
That's surgery.
They said my what's the name? Probably 7 years ago, my cartilage in my right knee was. They said they literally held up and said it's paper thin.
Yeah.
So.
Does that mean surgery for the meniscus?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How soon?
Shoot. Tomorrow, it could be. Yeah, thank you, Babs. Thanks for pulling that out on me, Babs.
Marconi Award, what?
That's the first time ever.
Yeah, that's what you wanted? That's what you get. That's what you get.
What's funny about that is, like,
Did you dump that, Zeph?
What's funny about that is Slay hardly ever curses. Like out of the three of us,
Like, he is not the cursor on this.
It's a bad injury, man.
This is what it does to you.
It does. Lang, man.
Dang. Oh, man.
So we got going. And it's the right leg. So
I told
can't
you
drive.
We got up to get a picture with Blaney, and I was like, dang, Slate, you have shorts on. But I was like, your knee's still really swollen, by the way.
I knew it when it happened, but I was like,
Candy B said Slay just made the bingo card.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to say Shiano on that one.
He didn't. No, he didn't.
Dang.
Cameron, sorry about the knee, bro.
Yeah, it's cool.
Oh,
Well,
man.
I mean, you've been in so much pain, and like, you don't complain about anything.
No,
That's how we know it's bad.
Yeah. Now, the doctor said, though, I was like, man, I ain't even do nothing. They said it's literally all the years of playing.
Mm-hmm. Caught up with you.
Yeah,
And so just walking around, getting up, and all that stuff.
That's all it was.
It just, yeah.
Because I ain't played nothing.
Dang, man. So you got like bone on bone.
And there wasn't a
bone.
moment.
No, it wasn't no moment. Yeah. So, yeah.
Do you need a new knee?
No.
I
Just
thought it was a
the meniscus.
moment. Didn't you blame Buck?
No, I was sitting in this chair
Which show were you on?
on Buck Show. Yeah, but yeah. Yeah.
I'm blaming Buck.
Buck's
Take
fault.
that, Buck. Yeah.
Blame Buck.
Buck will pay for it.
We used to blame
money.
Justin on the morning show, the meteorologist.
Justin Bruce.
Hashtag blame Justin. Can we start
Really?
hashtag blame Buck?
Yeah. That could be a Fix It Burt was
Yeah.
the hashtag.
Yeah.
I mean, when you say blame Justin on the morning show, there is a Justin on the morning show.
It is, Jayhawk.
Oh, now, yeah.
When you said that, I was like,
I don't
wait,
think
what?
he's to blame for much, though.
Oh, J-Rock, a good dude. He made it easy this morning. But, man, sorry about that, bro.
Dang, Slade.
I know, huh?
I mean, it drove you to curse on the radio.
Yeah. It's been hurt. It's been like this for about 2 weeks. I knew something was wrong.
Oh, man, Babs is going to be talking about you saying that word forever.
Do I, am I going to have to, like, come pick you up for
You
work?
may have to.
Oh, my gosh.
Because I can't drive with the right knee.
You can't drive
That's
with the
right.
left foot?
Do they
No,
make,
that is dangerous.
Crossover? No.
do they make crutches for someone of your
Yeah.
height?
I got my kid I mentor. He's just he's 6'8".
Yeah, but
He's
man,
just
your
went through it.
armpits are going to hurt worse than the normal guy on crutches.
I think
No,
we should
he's
get
6'8".
Slay a scooter.
No, I don't want no scooter. I'm gonna do something dumb on that. Yeah, that's
Or a wheelchair?
It's not wrong.
nah. I'm gonna do something dumb on that. Anything with wheels, keep me off of wheels.
I
One injury.
think we should rent you an electric scooter.
All right, thank you.
You just said keep him off wheels.
I would take that.
No. Slay needs some wheels. We'll call it the Slay Ride.
All right, when we come back, we're going to learn something.
decorate it.
EA Sports motion capture actor. You've seen videos of these guys with all the balls all over themselves.
Okay, that sounds bad. Phrasing, Mayor.
But you know what I'm talking about, okay?
The sensors.
Yes, there you go. Thank you, Babs. The sensors. Like Ryan Nelson, who you met, Babs, last weekend, offensive lineman for the Michigan Panthers in the UFL. He is that guy for offensive line play for Madden and college football. That's next. We'll figure it out next on 104.5 The Zone. Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. That's where you need to go to get that next new vehicle. Heard from Daniel Gupton this morning, and those guys are doing great work out there, and you need to experience it. It'll be the best vehicle buying experience you will have ever had, and they do a great job. All you need to do is let them know what you're looking for. So Daniel Gupton and his crew are there ready to listen to you and to hear you and hear what your needs are, whether you need more room, maybe you need something smaller, maybe you need something better gas mileage, maybe you need something a little bit cheaper. Whatever your needs are, they will point you in the right direction. You take a test drive, you go inside, they will help make the numbers work, and it will be that easy. Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, 24 West to exit 35, and that's about 9 miles outside the city, and then a straight shot into the, as I said, best vehicle buying experience you will have ever had. Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, 3450 Tom Austin Highway, about 30 minutes from downtown Nashville. Check them out online, GuptonMotors.com. All of the dealership information is there. Address, phone number, inventory, all the deals they have going on in the month of May, you can get right there, GuptonMotors.com. That's Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram.
Good afternoon. It is 5:02. I'm Joseph Bonanno live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. The Titans are back on the practice field for day 2 of OTAs. Cam Ward spoke with the media and was asked how he is taking advantage of practice despite splitting reps with the other quarterbacks.
Just getting a lot of mental reps, whether Will's up, BA, or Tim is up. Then also just going through it in my head, the formations, the play call, the motions if we have one. So really just, getting understanding of the full offense.
The Western Conference Finals continued tonight as the Thunder look for a series win over the Timberwolves, who look to keep their playoff hopes alive. Tip-off for Game 5 in OKC is at 7:30 on TNT. For our foundation repair and waterproof needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home Titans and Balls. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Tell 104.5 The Zone. Bridge Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. Hope you're having a great Wednesday. What does that mean, Slato?
Hump day.
Ronald Sylvester Slay is here.
I'm in the building. Better be ready, Babsy.
Oh, she's ready.
I was born ready.
Wow.
Slay.
Wow, okay. I like how you're hydrating all of a sudden.
I know. Drank some wine last night. Need some.
Yeah, that a girl.
Need some water.
That a girl.
Let's go. Happy Wednesday, people.
It is funny that Babs used to have one of those big jugs of water that had like time stamps.
When I first got here, she did.
Yeah, going down.
Where is it?
And then
It made me feel bad about myself.
So she quit using it. Instead of drinking more water, she got rid of it because she was tired of looking at how far behind she was.
I'd be on this show at 3 p.m. and I'm like, it's only 9 a.m. on my damn water bottle. What? I hate this thing.
Nashville Sounds Winning Wednesday coming up. Babs Prize Closet will open. And your chance to win Sounds tickets. Executive producer of 38LSF.
What's up?
Let's do this. This is going to be really interesting. I'm looking forward to this conversation. Ryan Nelson joins us. He's an offensive lineman for the Michigan Panthers in the UFL. Babs, you've done 2 of their games.
Yes. Unfortunately, they've lost both of them, so I'm not going to be invited back on their sideline, I have a feeling.
Ryan, if you see Don Davenport on the sideline, just, find security.
They've only lost 3 all year.
Ryan, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm good, man. I appreciate you guys having me on.
What is the UFL experience from a player perspective? Because I'm going to tell you, and this is way different. It has nothing to do with you, but like in terms of being a sports fan and viewing the production of these games, we're allowed access that we're not allowed in most sports, right? Like, so I'm curious from a football player perspective, what is the experience like for you playing in the UFL?
I mean, personally, it's a great experience. I absolutely love it. It's a second chance for a lot of guys. And it's also a way to be a lot closer to the fans. Like, you got people where you can see our sideline cam on our chest and see what we're doing. You got the locker room perspective. You can see what we're doing in the locker room. So it's very different. You got the sideline interviews nonstop. You have fans on top of you sometimes. You're like, all right, having fun with it. And it's just a great all-around experience for a lot of us. We all enjoy it. We all love it. I don't really have many complaints.
So from a player perspective, is the mindset this simple? Like you never know who's watching? So I'm going to go out here and give every rep my all?
I would say as an athlete, that's always your perspective. Ever since like high school.
Yeah.
You never know who's watching, even when you don't think you're doing anything wrong. Everything from the field to what you're doing off the field.
Let's go back to high school. Before we get, so we're going to talk with you about EA Sports, the motion capture actor that you are. So I don't know if you get an IMDb page for that, but growing up playing high school football,
Get residual checks or anything?
Yeah, Babs was in. What were you in?
I was in Nashville.
Yeah,
and it was 13 years ago, I think. Ryan, I still get residual checks for being in that TV show.
For how much?
They're like 5 cents. They literally print it out on a piece of paper and send it to me, and it's like 10 cents.
Yeah.
I had one the other day that was like $1.29.
It's amazing. And she, I mean, she really had to stretch her acting skill set because she played a journalist.
Yeah.
So,
crazy, I know.
Take us back. When you were a kid, was it always football for you?
Actually, I grew up playing baseball. So I grew up playing baseball since about 4 or 5 years old. Absolutely loved it. Got into high school and was like, you know what? I want to play everything I can play. At one point, I was doing 4 sports a day: football, baseball, basketball, and track.
Gosh.
Yeah. Going into my junior year, I had to make the decision between baseball or football. And I was like, I'm already getting highly recruited in football. Let's go for it. I absolutely loved it. And they told me if I was going to keep playing baseball because as a pitcher, I had to stop getting bigger and actually get smaller. And I was like, well, that's not going to work for me. So went with football, and I haven't looked back.
I mean, I grew up playing baseball too. I wasn't clearly as good as you are, but if I saw 6'6", 325 on the mound,
Nah.
Dude, the fear factor alone, man, that'd be intimidating.
It's a monster.
Thought Randy Johnson was the big unit, huh?
Yeah. John Crook pitching.
So you go to Virginia, incredible school. If people haven't been to a game at Virginia, it's awesome. Like you drive in, and the football field is actually below the street. It's really, really cool,
and it's beautiful there.
Yeah, why Virginia?
So, as you said, it's absolutely beautiful, amazing school. The staff, Bronco Mendenhall and Coach TJ, were recruiting me back when they were at BYU.
Okay.
And I'm not a member of the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints, so I'm not Mormon, so I was like, I can't really do that. When they went to Virginia, I was like, you know what? I would absolutely love that. My major was history. I was like, kind of perfect. There's history all over that school. I want to say my first year, they accidentally knocked on a wall while cleaning at the rotunda and found like Thomas Jefferson's old lab, completely untouched.
Wow.
In the rotunda?
They're phenomenal.
That's incredible.
History. Oh, wow. That's a major. It's not my favorite. My husband loves history. Always talks about it. Always watches all these documentaries. I'm like, can we watch something else?
Yeah, there's music history from that school too with Dave Matthews Band.
That's right.
There's that.
You even have Edgar Allan Poe, the poet, stayed there for, I want to say it was like 1 semester. But they love to push that up there all the time.
Yeah, you got to claim it. 1 semester's a claim.
Ryan Nelson with us, offensive lineman for the Michigan Panthers in the UFL.
Ryan, let me ask you, man, and in the UFL, like, who was the best lineman you've played against? And did that guy have a chance to make it? Did he make it to the league? NFL?
Let me think, going back, because I've been here, 3 years now. Probably one of the best. Honestly, the best is on my team. It's Braylon Speaks.
Yep.
Outside of, and Braylon, had a decent NFL career, had been there a while before he came to us.
If he can just stay healthy.
Yeah, when that kid's healthy, he's absolutely amazing. I call him Uncle Bree because, I like the joke that he's like 45, but he's absolutely great. But I would say another one of the best would be Taco Charleston from Arlington. I mean, that kid's a prior first-round pick.
Yeah.
So you got to give the kid his roses. He's a great player.
Yeah.
All right, so how did you get involved with the EA Sports world? How did that come about?
Okay, so when I'm at home, I train with this guy named Sean Burns, father to Lorenzo Burns. He was a 2 or 3 year starter with the Stallions before going up north, playing CFL. And Deshaun is old college buddies with a guy named Major Royster, who runs a company called 3rd and 1. They are actually my employer. So they do the motion capture. They hold out all the athletes. They had me go to a tryout for Mazio, and I went, was the only offensive lineman who showed up. They had guys from other years who they still used, but I went and got involved in that, killed the tryout. The guys at EA, the higher-ups, they absolutely loved me. I did my first shoot up in Canada in, December of 23, I believe.
Oh, wow. It's a career.
And they absolutely loved me up there. My animations were a lot more crisp, was what I was told, and more natural.
I mean, how did you even know what you were doing?
I'm just playing football, man. They kind of tell me, So in the beginning, they're like, all right, we want it to look this way and do this, do that, and
Right.
give me a direction. After I did, I want to say like 2 or 3, maybe 4 shoots, they were like, hey, so we were kind of told to only shoot when you're in town, but we know you're in season these months, so we will wait for you, but we're also giving you more leeway on how you want to film it. So now they tell me, okay, how would this look? And then I, along with the defensive actor, make it work. One of the best ones to actually film with is Memphis Showboat's Boogie Roberts. I film with him, and we call it the A-team. We're bumping stuff out, one shoot, one shot, get it done. That way we can get as much filming done as possible throughout our day.
So obviously you shoot in the off season, and we've talked about this, but tell everybody it's like a 8 or 9 hour a day shoot. You go 3 days straight. How many reps are you doing? Like, compare this to like a practice for football players.
Okay, so I want to say last shoot I did 3 days. It's like 375, 385 stunts, which just means that's when you physically touch another human being. Anything that you shoot that does not touch someone else is not a stunt. So I had to do a bunch of different kicks and stuff too, just for the different animations of changing direction. So within those 3 days, like 375, 385 stunts, plus those other ones, probably over 400 different shots that I did. And in comparison, I want to say during practice, we have scripted, let's just say like 50 plays. So I'm over here like, all right, let me get 6 practices in 3 days.
In 3 days. And you're like physically hitting another player. I mean, like the pancakes, the wins, the losses, you're doing it all.
Oh, I've had to do some crazy ones. I had to do one where I had to flip a dude.
Wow.
Awesome.
And the hard part is the guy being flipped has to not brace, because every time you brace, it looks fake, it looks unnatural, it's not real. So you're over here like, dude, I'm going to hit you really hard, but I need you to just kind of go limp one time. Come on. I've also seen the receiver animations where they jump up and get flipped. I've seen the guys do that.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, dude, I don't envy you. But don't worry, we have crash pads. The guys are safe for the most part. We have an EMT on site at all times.
Oh, nice. Good to know. It's a little dangerous, huh?
It's just crazy to think about all the people that are listening that play Madden, play college football, and that's you, man. That's you.
Yeah, I'm asking who's sliding in them DMs, like going off on you about stuff, about their rating and stuff.
I get so many hate messages over this stuff. People act like I'm individually shooting your current play right now. It's like, oh, my left tackle gave up a sack. That guy, Ryan Nelson's terrible. And I'm like, dude, I promise you, I don't give up many of those.
Yeah.
So I promise you, the video game, I didn't film losing every single time. Yes, I have to film the losses. I also film all the wins. That's a coding thing. Or they're like, oh, well, he didn't block the right guy. And I'm like, okay, is it he didn't block the right guy, or is it you don't know your own blocking schemes? Because you'd be surprised how many people don't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
like,
that's awesome.
It didn't work well. And I'm like, dude, you ran the wrong play for that defense. Like,
See,
that's on you, bud.
So PSA, Ryan Nelson is not at fault when your offensive line stinks on Madden or NCAA football, all right?
Yeah, just like the biggest one to me is people are like, oh, well, I made my line, and my line got beat nonstop when I did my fantasy team. Okay, I guarantee you the majority of people, when they do their little fantasy draft, or when they're playing these Madden games and making their franchise, forget to draft their offensive line. Like, it's not my fault. You were like, oh, I got this 99 quarterback and 95 receiving, all these different guys. But I forgot to draft an offensive line, so I have all the 50s and 60 dudes. Like, that's on you. That's not on me.
Ryan Nelson, offensive lineman for the Michigan Panthers in the UFL, EA Sports motion capture actor. Ryan, really interesting stuff, man. Congrats on the path, and we appreciate the conversation.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Ryan.
Ryan Nelson.
It's coding.
It's coding. He gets hate messages. That was a great question, Slade. Man, gosh, can you imagine?
I can't believe he gets hate messages.
Oh, that's funny. Vanderbilt baseball coach Tim Corbin next on 104.5 The Zone.
All right, you need a new roof, or are you worried you might need a new roof? Do you need a repair? Is it leaking? All of those things. Call North Point Roofing Systems, local here in Nashville. They have offices in the Maryland Farms area and are here to help you. Here's the deal. They do free drone inspections, diagnose the health of your roof using AI drone technology. So you don't have anybody walking on your roof. You don't risk damaging your roof further. And you don't risk somebody fabricating damage or hurting an already vulnerable part of your roof. Now, other roofers have drones too, but here's the difference with North Point Roofing Systems. They send a drone up, takes 13 minutes to fly. Homeowner gets a report with 75 to 100 photos, goes into a 3D model, has all the measurements, and provides a report regardless of if you get a new roof from them or not. So, boom, you have an actual honest feedback on the health of your roof. North Point Roofing Systems, reach out to them on their website and they'll come do a free drone inspection. NorthPointRoofingSystems.com.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay with you. Happy Wednesday. Vanderbilt hosting Wright State Friday at 5 o'clock. Vanderbilt baseball coach Tim Corbin joins us now. Corbs, what's up? How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Incredible run you guys are on. We'll talk about that in a minute. But let me start with this. 13 of the 16 SEC teams, obviously, in the NCAA tournament, 8 hosting out of 16 regions. How much of a grind is that SEC schedule? Not just physically, but mentally.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. You said 13 teams, and I joined this league when there were 12. So that was back in 2003. So you know where we are now. But it's like when they add 2 more teams, it's like, okay, join the party. But what they're basically doing is just overloading. It's MLB at the college level. Everyone has resources. And because of that, I think the biggest change that I've seen in the league is just older players. You got older players, and people are retooling and reloading with kids from other schools, really good players from other schools. So the length of the lineup are, 1 to 9 it makes it very difficult in the pitching. The pitching is better. There's more power arms. The length of the bullpens is longer than it's ever been before. You used to be in a league where you may have had 1, 2, or 3 hitters that you really had to control, and then everyone else was pretty good. Now it's 1 to 9 you have to control. So it does make it difficult, and when you talk about the grind, that's what it's from.
Yeah,
it's a lot of talent.
So as a coach, like how challenging is that to kind of manage the mental part of that and not have players get burned out? You know what I mean? Because like now's it's a new thing, right?
Yeah, I think it's more about just recentering. I think for young kids, I think when you get into sport, especially one where the resistance is a lot, what it does is it creates stress, and it creates stress to coaches. It creates stress for players, and stress is a real thing because what it does is it drains energy.
Yes.
So what you need to do is you get to a point where you give them tools. There's a lot of teaching in the off season. There's a lot of teaching during the season about how to center yourself, and centering yourself is, getting back to a middle, but really what does that look like? What does it look like in terms of mentally, and what are the tools you need, and what kind of breathing techniques do you use? But it's all of that really, because you have to get back to a middle ground. If you're winning, then you have to learn how to recover from winning, because that's a real deal too. If you're losing, you have to learn how to recover from losing. But you just have to keep things at a very central part of your brain. Thinking about the future creates anxiety. So you can't think about outcomes. You just really have to be immersed in what you're doing. You have to be very present with what you're doing and intentional with what you're doing. And that's why I always wanted to come to Vanderbilt, because I felt like you're going to be working with smart, elite kids for the most part. So being able to teach those concepts was something I was very, that was important to me.
So, Coach, along those lines, I remember back to the first trip to Omaha in 2011, and just listening to you talk now just about the off season and how to handle players and recovering after winning and losing. From that 2011 trip to right now, what is maybe the biggest thing that you've learned as a coach when you look at the road to Omaha?
Oh, Don, I think I probably learned more about the humanistic piece of teaching and coaching than sport itself. I feel like in a lot of different ways, the skills of sports are very, very important. You spend a lot of time on them. But I don't think you can tap into the skills of sports until you learn about yourself, until you're comfortable in your own skin, until you move away from posturing, until you get very vulnerable with who you are, what you need to do, how you need to get better. You gain a teachable spirit so that you can grow as a person. And then when individuals start to work in that manner right there, then you try to blend those traits into the team.
And when the team starts living those traits, that's when trust is born, and trust is born inside the group. And when that happens, that's when you start to see consistent and positive outcomes. And I think that's where we're really at, because I think it took a little bit of time. Now,
it did.
Yeah, I mean, we were 11-9 in the conference in April, and we lost to MTSU on a Tuesday. We take the bus down to Ole Miss and lose the first game Friday and lose game Saturday, and they weren't quality games. And then we win 13-0 on Sunday. Now, I'm not going to tell you that 13-0 was the breakthrough moment, but what happened is it was almost like we surged a little bit offensively, and that momentum continued to build, and then it became a wave. And then when the wave started moving, we started moving with it. But I do think that team trust started to really develop at a high level. Then it became no longer, I have to get this done or we're going to fail. It became more about, okay, if I don't get it done, this guy's going to pick us up. And because I think, even though Brody Johnston was a freshman named MVP of the SEC tournament, I could have given you 10 different names of MVPs in that tournament. That was, Brody played well, but Brody was one of 10, 11, 12 people that made it possible for us to win in that environment. So that's a long answer to what you asked on, but
no, I love it.
It's fascinating just to kind of try to figure this out. And as we said, I mean, the season is. I love the wave analogy. Just yeah. Right. We heard about a players only meeting. Did that happen?
Yeah, it happened, and I think it was part of. It was after we were really playing. We weren't playing bad baseball, but we just had a tough weekend at Oklahoma. And it was after Saturday we got 10 runs, and it was the only time we had. And they got together as a team, and I kind of know a little bit about what they talked about, but it was more about just coming together as a group. The pitching was pretty good, but they had a couple days there where it wasn't. The hitting was kind of up and down, and I think what they did is they probably relieved, just the tensions of one another, of having to do more than what was required. Because really, when you just stay in your lane and you just do what you have to do for the team, that's all that's required. Really, that's all that's required. You don't have to change lanes. You don't have to, do it for someone else. It's, you're doing it for your team. But I think that became a point for them. It was one piece. It wasn't just a magic dust moment, but it certainly helped.
So was it important for you to know what was discussed, or were you good with just the process of them taking it upon themselves?
Oh, I think it's great. I mean, I think when you have kids, just in general, if you're a parent, you have kids, there's a lot of conversations that your own kids have about the family, and those are very healthy. You need that. I mean, I think as a parent or as a coach, you guide your kids to the best of your ability, but ultimately they have to take the keys and they have to drive the car. And you are no longer the driver's ed teacher that's saying, step on the brake, watch that turn up here, put on your blinker. It's more about you getting in the back seat and saying, or them saying to you, hey, listen, we've listened to you for a long time and we know what to do. Trust us. You get in the back seat and you enjoy this. And when a team starts doing that, that's a really cool thing. Now you're still teaching and you're still coaching. It's not one of those things where you just release everything to them, because you do have to guide them. I mean, especially if you've been coaching for 41 years, that doesn't make any sense to get completely out of the way. But at the same time, it has to be theirs. You have to release the opportunity for them, so you can empower them to feel good about what they're doing.
Well, let me tell you this, Corbs. If you end up in a vehicle riding with Don Davenport, you're going to want to be in the front seat and you're going to want to coach.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I didn't know that about you, Don.
No.
Yeah, you just stay on your little golf cart there, Coach, and stay
Coach,
out of the way.
We got things to do and places to be, right?
That's right.
Tim Corbin with us. Vanderbilt, the overall number 1 seed. They've got Wright State coming up on Friday at 5 o'clock at Hawkins Field. Going to be a fun weekend over there. Slay Dog?
Coach Corb, let's do this. We're going to get in here in the boom boom room and see if you can handle it. I want you to stay in the box. Don't step out of the box, no matter what comes down or over the plate. If you can answer everything truthfully to the best of your ability, you will be out of the boom boom room. If you agree to these terms, the doors will be locked behind you. Do you agree?
I guess I have to. I'm on the radio show. I didn't know this was coming, though.
Yeah. Hey, you're trapped.
Yeah, I am.
Do you know what the boom boom room is? Like, have you heard it before, Coach?
No, I haven't, but I'm excited to get in the boom boom room.
Zelf, lock the door.
Okay.
Are you going to explain it to him on any level? Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, here we go, Coach Corb. Little quick hitters for you real quick to warm you up. Use some softball pitches. Not a knock to what softball is doing because we know they throw heat too, but I'm standing back where the measurement is like baseball, just throwing some softballs to you. Jeans or shorts, sweats type of guy?
Jeans.
Okay. Suit or polo type of guy? Which one you feeling more comfortable in?
No, I don't really wear many polos, but probably a suit I feel comfortable in, but I don't wear many suits either. So I say suit.
You know, one of my most shocking moments as a radio host on 3HL was you showed up to do an hour-long interview with us in a suit. I could not believe it.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm sorry you have that image. Yeah.
Hey, okay. Have you seen anyone other than maybe Sonic the Hedgehog that is faster than Enrique Bradfield Jr.?
No.
Just flat out. Was it any moment where you had to tell him, Enrique, do not run on this? And he took off anyway, stole the base, and he was like, well, that's that.
I do remember that. Stole 4 bags at Tennessee on a Sunday, and I told him not to steal the 4th one because we were up by 8 runs and it was late in the game. And I said, we're going to play these guys again. And he stole the 4th one and put up all 4 fingers up high up in the air. I said, get your hand down right now.
That's an incredible story.
I love that. So when you're in the boom boom room, Coach Corbs, man, this is about relaxing and letting the people get to know who they don't get to see when you're in your environment as far as coaching. 23 years in at Vandy. Take me back to when you were an assistant and what a day of relaxation would look like for Coach Corbs.
A day of relaxation, to be honest with you, was just going to a ball game. Maggie she was married to a basketball coach before she married me. Mm-hmm. I think she would remarry the basketball coach now that she's been married to me. Not really, but we haven't done anything non-baseball related, which is sad. That woman has because she plays tennis and pickleball, but I'm more of a hindrance. I'm all baseball. I don't have any interest. I'm a simpleton. I'm no fun to be around. I'm not really socially equipped to manage a conversation outside of this office. I deal with kids, not adults. So, yeah, I'm in my lane. I'm in my center point. There's not much good in me. So all I can do is really teach and coach.
Love that. You gotta get a game out of the way. You got 2 innings. You're up 1. Jack Leiter, David Price, or Kumar Rocker, who's closing the game for you?
Ooh. Oh, boy. David Price was the greatest. Jack Leiter. But I'm going to say Kumar Rocker.
Ooh, I like that. I like that right there. Okay, last one, and I'll let you out of the boom boom room. Mm-hmm. Who's the player that you're most proud of to help establish what you have going at Vanderbilt that didn't go pro or get the recognition that they may have deserved? Coach or player?
Boy. There's so many of them. That is such a difficult question.
That's the boom boom, Coach. That's what happens.
Yeah, I know. I
stay in the box. I'm the umpire. Stay in the box.
Boy, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Most proud of. That didn't get to the big leagues.
That didn't get to the big leagues or got the recognition that you probably were like, you know what? Looking back on it 2 years ago, man, this guy right here was, man, he started all this. That 07 team, like all of these national championship runs, like they probably were the one that kick-started.
Yeah. Okay. Then I'll go back to Ryan Klosterman. Ryan Klosterman was a young guy that came with me from Clemson. He was third on the depth chart. He was playing behind the National Player of the Year back then named Khalil Green. He came with me to Vanderbilt. I didn't guarantee him anything. He became a shortstop here and got drafted in the 5th round, played professionally, did not get to the big leagues. He is now the head coach at Bryant University. But the thing that was so important about this kid is because he helped create an environment that established a long-term culture. Because his work ethic, his drive, he knew me, he knew what I wanted. He set the tone for the rest of the team. And Tony Mansolino, who's now the manager of the Baltimore Orioles, he and Klosty became really, really good friends. But I think about what we have today, I got to owe a lot of it to that young man right there. That was 2003 Ryan Klosterman.
That's
awesome.
fantastic.
Love that.
So
Love that.
good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kevin Colbert is a good friend of yours, right, Coach Corbin?
Yeah, Kevin was my college baseball coach.
So
And I was a student assistant football coach for 4 years while I was a college baseball player because of him.
Wow.
Beautiful insight right there. So to get out the boom boom room, Titans playing the Steelers, who you choosing?
Right now, well, Kevin's not a GM anymore.
He's not. You're right. You're right.
And I like Coach Tomlin, but I got to stay with my hometown team.
Loyalty, baby.
Loyalty.
Yeah,
yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah, I have to.
Coach Corbs, terrific job, man. Don't mind the orange peelings that's on the floor. Vitello was in the boom boom room yesterday. Zeph, let him out of the boom boom room.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, all right.
Hoo-ah.
Tim Corbin with us on 3HL
Good
again
job,
in action
Coach.
on Friday at 5 o'clock, and it's going to be a fun weekend at Hawkins Field. Coach, what do you look for in players when you recruit them?
I look for someone with a high care level in everything they do, and I mean that. Care level for their social life, academics, competition, baseball, gratitude. Someone who's grateful, someone who treats people well, treats their parents well, because that's their life team. I've made decisions on kids where I saw the other side of that, and at that point right there, you got to have the right fibers in order to play here. So a lot of it is humanistic in terms of, you have to be a skilled player, but I like great human traits too. I like guys who want to grow as men. That's important. And I've always looked at these kids like, okay, if they were going to marry Hannah and Molly, how could you help them so you could equip them for a better marriage and a better relationship? And I've always looked at these guys that way. I'm a step parent in life, and I feel like I'm a step parent in my professional life too. It's like you're learning to love other people's children when you get them for 2 and 3 and 4 years. And I take great pride in that. And I like the fact that I feel like I can teach a whole lot more than just baseball, and that's a huge part of what we do.
Coach, how do you and Maggie have enough space for all the people that feel like they're, or you have made feel like family and want to come back for Thanksgiving and Christmas and see you guys? I feel by this point you don't have enough space in your house.
Probably not. I mean, this is our life, and we've just made it our life. I mean, if you went to the door in our house, you look to the left, and it's Maggie's den, and all she has on her den is just like this morning, a dozen gift wrap their presents, and their presents for our players who have had kids or are getting married. And it's just a lot of that all the time, and it's just keeping up with them. And the Rolodex grows, but I like it, and she loves it, and there's no other life. I mean, I think the thing about the life, I don't need a life scare to know that I'm running out of time. I understand my own mortality, and that can change at any moment. So I've got a real recognition to what to be grateful for. And I'm very grateful that I've been in the same city for 23 years with a wife that we've been able to be in an environment where it's higher education, but develop such great relationships with kids that will stay with us for a long period of time, and hopefully we can stay with them too. So my life is just filled with gratitude every single day, and I feel like I've, in 41 years, have never changed as a teacher and coach. I have the same energy. I don't do anything else. It's the same every day. It's Sunday through Sunday. You wake up, I work out, I drive my four-wheeler here, I put on my baseball pants first thing in the morning, and I always have. And people say, why? It's because there'll be a day where I don't get to wear them. And I want the feeling of understanding what this feels like every single day. I don't take this for granted. I never want it pulled from my life. And it does really piss me off when I hear someone say, the game has passed me by. They have zero idea. I mean, this is on my mind all the time. It will never pass me by. I'm a learner. I want to learn all the time. I've got great energy and I'm in great shape. So I'm glad that, we have a team this year that we can celebrate, and hopefully we can continue to play well. We'll see. But we just enjoy this life.
Pulling for you, Coach.
Coach Corbs.
Thank you.
Speaking of, passing by with the evolution of the game in college sports all around in general, and I think a person that doesn't get their flowers enough, and I want you to speak on it, just what they mean to the program, passing from David Williams getting the torch and running with it as Candace Story Lee, what has she meant to the university as far as bringing it up to speed, like the facilities, the players, the exposure for the coaches, the support for the coaches? Just what does that mean, what she's doing for the program?
Well, having watched Candace as a basketball player, I feel like I've watched her life grow, both as a student athlete, as a early professional here in compliance, watching David take her on as an intern, watch her become professional with David, and then becoming an athletic director at the most difficult time that you could, which was right in the middle of COVID. The thing I can say about Candace Story Lee is, first of all, I love her. Second of all, she's the most humanistic leader that I've seen at any level. And I feel like females, and there's some great male leaders out there, but the thing about males in general is we take. We've never given. We don't know how to give life. We've never given birth. And the thing about females is they're givers. They're just that's a fiber of them. They're always giving and giving and giving and giving. And for someone like her to be in this position, I've watched her hire. I've watched her let go, and I'm not going to say fire. I've watched her let go. Yeah. And the cool thing about Candace is she can let a person go professionally, but still retain the relationship with that person after they're gone. I think she has a phenomenal way of communicating. She's going to continue to learn how to be an athletic director. But when you look at people that you want to be with, she always talks up to people. She never talks down to people. She's just a wonderful, wonderful person. And I've just enjoyed being her friend more than anything else. I mean, I'm a baseball coach. She's an athletic director, but throw away the titles. She's just a special human being that's helped move a part of a university and made it better because she's facilitated an environment to make other people around her better. And I love her for it.
So have you, Coach. Thank you for the time. We appreciate you, as always.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks, Pat. Everyone. Appreciate it.
There he is, Tim
Coach.
Corbin, Vanderbilt. Number 1 overall seed. We have to break, right, Jeff? We'll be right back.
It's Corbs.
All right, you guys have heard me talk about the Zen Sports app. Well, guess what? It got a major upgrade, and it is now the new state-of-the-art VIP Play app. And it's here, and it's ready for you. So go ahead and jump in. VIPplayapp.com if you want to download it, or just, search it on your phone's app store. VIP Play offers 200 leagues to wager on. All of your favorite bet types, live now. Yeah, you've heard of it, but you have not yet experienced live always on VIP Play. By the way, they have this VIP Players Club sweepstakes every single month, and every bet you make on VIP Play gets you entries into their monthly sweepstakes. 1 entry per bet, 1 entry per dollar bet, and then 10 times your entries on parlays and same game parlays. So go ahead and claim your VIP Play welcome bonus. When you make your first bet of $5 or more, you will get $100 in bonus bets instantly. Just use my code DAWNTN, DAWNTN, VIP Play. Go check it out, VIPplayapp.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. You got to be 21 and older and located in Tennessee to bet.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. If you missed that Corbs interview or came in late, man, download the podcast.
So good.
Vitello yesterday, Corbs today. We told you all those guys would be incredible in different ways. And
both amazing.
Just amazing people and coaches and affect so many lives. You've got something to give away real quick, and then we'll get out of here.
I've got a bunch of stuff to give away. Winning Wednesdays with The Zone. Caller number 5. Right now, you'll win 2 tickets to see the Sounds host Gwinnett next Wednesday. That's the 4th at First Horizon Park. And break out your finest pair of blue jeans. Go boot scooting as we get ready to kick off CMA Fest. I did not write that. Enjoy a night filled with country music, country legends, and your favorite baseball team. And all Sounds fans win on Wednesday. If the Sounds win the game, fans get to round the bases at First Horizon Park. So that's kind of fun. Wednesdays this summer, all about winning, and the Nashville Sounds ready to adorn all of their fans with prizes at First Horizon Park. So we give away something every Wednesday. They give away something every Wednesday. So do we. I have something else to give away.
Give it away.
All right, Zeph, go ahead and take caller 5 for that. And then another caller number 5. 2 tickets to the Music City Rodeo on May 31st with special guest Tim McGraw.
How about that?
615-737-1045. So some of you are winning Sounds tickets, and somebody's winning 2 tickets to the Music City Radio on May 31st. Why don't we do giveaways on different days, by the way? I'm going to work on that.
I don't know. I didn't decide it.
I know you didn't. I'm going to work on that. I'm on it.
Very good.
I'm right on top of that, Rose.
All right. Make sure you guys listen to Ramon and Will tomorrow as Babsy guest host with Ramon Foster.
Let's see if I make it on time. Savage told me he'll have coffee waiting.
He will.
Little scooters for me.
He does the show right now.
Yeah. I had a blast with him this morning. Savage will have Savage Radio coming up on Friday with Slay Dog. Appreciate you guys listening. 3HL bingo card real quick. Slay Kirsten got dumped for the first time ever. Also,
Shiano.
Also, how about this quote? I don't need a life scare to understand my own mortality. Tim Corbin getting deep with you earlier. Appreciate you guys listening. Appreciate you guys including us in your day. We do not take that for granted, nor do we take that lightly. Have a great night. Good night. God bless.
See ya.
Wouldn't want to be you unless you was getting a shout out. Traylon Burks is on the field.
On the field.
But shout out to the SEC teams that's going to handle business.
Two Rivers Ford announces employee pricing for everyone. Every tradesman, every dad, every rising star. You pay what we pay. Two Rivers Ford. Locally owned.